Neither return team is of a special renown as far as stats are concerned today. Dwayne Walker, special teams will have a big effect. And here we go. The NFC Championship game is underway. Wershing kicks it over the side. It's going out of bounds, and they'll kick it again. And Dallas will get 5 yards on the second try, as Ray Wershing will be kicking from the 30-yard line. Timmy Newsom chased that ball, couldn't get it, as it went out of bounds. Wershing will kick it again.
Ray got a lot of leg into that one, but he hit it high. It was a knuckler, and it floated out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. That's the first plus in this game to the Cowboys now, as he will have to kick 5 yards further back.
This is the 7th straight playoff appearance for these Cowboys. Record is 8 straight, by the way, which they share from a previous string back in 1966 on through 73. They played an 8 straight. Then they were interrupted, as I mentioned a moment ago, in 1974, and have now started a new string of 7 straight. In case you're wondering who those other 2 teams, Pittsburgh and Los Angeles, had appeared in a record 8 straight, and these Cowboys are now in their 7th straight. As Ray Wershing will tee up the ball again, this time from the 30, which moves James Jones up to his 7-yard line, where he's awaiting the opening kickoff of the NFC Championship game to meet the Cincinnati Bengals, who beat the San Diego Chargers today 27-7. Here's the second try by Wershing. Kicks it high and deep down to about the 7-yard line, where it's grabbed by Newsom up to the 20, and he is hit at about the 26-yard line. He ran it back about 19 yards from the 7 to the 26, where Carlton Williamson on the kicking team for the Niners nailed him at the 26-yard line, and there Dallas will be starting the first offensive drive of the afternoon.
Donna, the 49ers are going to start out with their 3-4 defense. I talked with Chuck Studley before the game. 3-4 to start the game, and they'll try to get Fred Dean in as much as possible. A lot of times on second down, they'll go to their 4-man line, but right now they're in the 3-4. 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers.
And here comes Dallas up the line of scrimmage. They slot the receivers to start things. Pearson and Hill are on the left side. Running back shipped out of the I formation. Dorsett now going back to the tail behind Springs with a deep set about 3 yards between him and the blocker. He's got the ball on a pitch, goes over the right tackle. He's hit at the 28-yard line, gains 2 yards as Tony Dorsett goes down, hit by Willie Harper and Carlton Williamson as he tried to go over the right tackle. Did not try to go outside on that first one behind the block of Braun Springs.
Also an excellent play from the inside by Jack Reynolds, who fought off the block of the right guard. Kurt Peterson scraped him along the line and got over there and got in on that play.
Dorsett, of course, was held to 21 yards in the previous outing here as Dallas went more to a passing catch-up game and deprived him of most of his carries. He only had 9, of course, that afternoon, so you can't judge Tony Dorsett in that first appearance here in October. Dallas sets its line again. Coming wide the left side is Tony Hill. Flankers on the right side are Pearson, along with Springs. Lone remaining back is Dorsett. Going back to pass for the first time. White throws it incomplete over the head of the intended receiver. That was Doug Cosby, the tight end. Carlton Williamson coming over to cover against him. And White is off target decidedly on his first attempt of the day. Remember, he threw 26 passes last week against Tampa Bay, hit on 15 of them for only 143 yards. As he did not go to the passing game, they kept the ball on the ground once ahead of the Buccaneers last week.
I think White showed a case of the jitters right there, Don. He actually threw that pass before he had to. He had plenty of time and could have waited for Cosby to come open and threw it hurriedly.
Danny White in his 6th year for the Cowboys, and he's been on the bench or been playing in the last 5 playoffs, of course, as San Francisco goes to a nickel defense. 3 wide receivers in there for Dallas. Butch Johnson joins Pearson and Hill now. From a shotgun formation, Danny White goes back on 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. He's being chased. He's sacked. He's hit by Dwayne Board. He's hit back at the 8-yard line. Dwayne Board sacks Danny White. Back around the 8. They're going to give him the 12-yard line. And there, the Dallas Cowboys. There's the first big defensive play of the day, Wayne.
Pee-wee Board had a stun on, stunning to the outside from his defensive right tackle position. Stunning to the outside, came open, good pressure, made the sack.
Back to punt now is Danny White. No question, they'll have to watch him for any kind of trickery, but not this time. He has no option but to punt on 4th down. Back to receiver, Hickson Solomon. Waiting for the snap back is Danny White. So far this year, here's the kick by White. Gets his kick away, beautiful high spiral. Going after it is Solomon. He got it, avoids a tackler, comes out the near side to try to get some help, cuts back in, still reversing his field. He's on his feet, the 31 being chased, and is hit out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. Great pursuit by the Dallas Cowboys after the first case of Solomon's avoiding the first man on him, and the tackle made then by Angelo King on the kicking team for Dallas. And San Francisco will have first possession at his 37-yard line.
Good intensity out there now. Check the 49ers game plan here. They told me that the first play will be up to Joe Montana. They've got a pass called. But if he comes to the line of scrimmage and sees the Cowboy cornerbacks rotating up, he'll check off to a run. If it is going to be a pass, it'll be a square out by both outside receivers. Watch Too Tall Jones. They'll double team him with the tight end Charlie Young if it is a pass. So if you're in the stands and you got your radio on, watch Keith Bonhorst. He will set up in front of Jones, draw him in, and Charlie Young will chop him from the side. A legal block, but they're going to tell Too Tall right away that they're here to play, and they're here to play hard against him.
That was one of the points that Bill Walsh mentioned, Wayne, the fact that you've got to assert your dominance as far as the physical aspect of this ball game on these Dallas Cowboys. To start off, Tom Landry, I asked him what was the biggest thing they had to correct, and he said, we've got to come out hitting, which we did not do in October. Here we go. They're lined up as Montana goes back to pass, throws it out the near side. It's caught, and out of bounds goes Wilson after the catch up around the 48-yard line.
Mike Schumann.
And a gain. That Schumann gain of about 11 yards on the first play. We'll see where they mark that ball, whether he got 10 or 11. It is a first down on a gain of 11. D.D. Lewis was putting the pressure on Montana, couldn't get to him. Everson Walls knocked him out of bounds, and a first down at the 48-yard line.
You see the chop by Charlie Young, got Too Tall down, got his hands down, and Montana could throw right over the top of where he was. This one is also scheduled to be a pass unless Montana throws an audible at him at the line.
Solomon goes wide to the left side. Clark is a short split off the right. As calling his signals now, Montana has the pass, goes back to the ball to go back to pass again. Fakes once, now throws over the middle. It's caught and then dropped after around the 48-yard line, that time by Lenville Elliott coming out of the backfield. Lenville, of course, who was reactivated a couple of weeks ago to take over the vacancy created by the loss of Paul Hofer. D.D. Lewis, along with Michael Downs, were double teaming on Elliott as he came out of the backfield, picked up by the linebacker.
Wasn't so much any breakdown in pass protection that time by the offensive line. Montana dropped back, had time initially, and just couldn't find anyone open downfield.
Dallas has inserted now two more defensive backs. Benny Barnes and Ron Fellows have come in. Anthony Dickerson comes in as a lone linebacker. The normal three, Hegman, Bruning, and Lewis, have left the ball game for the Cowboys. Bill Ring is in now as a running back in there, along with Earl Cooper. Here goes Montana pitching back to Cooper, getting a block from Ayers, cuts in, goes past the 50, and down to about the 49-yard line. So the 49ers are the first to penetrate enemy territory this afternoon. Anthony Dickerson coming in as that special six-man secondary and a one-man linebacker. They go to a 4-1-6 alignment, and Dickerson made the stop.
Now, they've taken out two running backs and put in two wide receivers. I think we'll probably see two wide receivers lining up in the backfield for the 49ers.
All four receivers are in, Solomon, Schumann, Clark, and Wilson. They line up now. Let's see who's back there.
Clark and Solomon.
Yes, Clark and Solomon lined up as running backs. Schumann and Wilson are at the wings. Here's a run by Montana looking for a receiver. Throws his pass. He got him down around the 32-yard line to Charlie Young. Charlie Young takes it to the 32-yard line. Michael Downs knocks him down, and San Francisco has a first down.
Montana made that happen. Montana did that almost all on his own. He had no one to throw to. He was under big pressure. He rolled to the right, on the run, looked downfield, spotted Charlie Young, who did the intelligent thing, start coming back towards Montana when he saw he was in trouble, and they pick up the first down. That's very depressing for the Dallas defense.
There's an early trend in this ball game. The Cowboys lost 11 yards in their first possession. The Niners, starting from their 37, have now advanced it on a sustained drive of 31 yards. They're up the line of scrimmage. In motion now comes Freddie Solomon. The balance off to the right. Clark is at the left. Going back to pass again is Montana. Great protection. Throws his pass. It's caught in the run down around the 20-yard line by Elliott. He's down to the 10-yard line. He's out of bounds at the 8. Ran him out of bounds. Lenville Elliott coming out of the backfield. He could be a key performer for the 49ers today. Down to the 32-yard line from that previous play, and this time down to the 8. So the 49ers picked up on that one 24 more big yards. They're inside the Dallas 10.
Bruning to middle linebacker, trying to cover Lenville Elliott out of the backfield. Montana with all kinds of time, put it right on the shelf.
Here come the 49ers up the line of scrimmage now. Bill Ring and Earl Cooper are the running backs, lined in a wide split behind Joe Montana. Clark is out right. Solomon is out left, moving back to slot to the right. Here comes Montana rolling out, throws a pass. It's caught, and into the end zone goes Freddie Solomon for a touchdown for the 49ers. Freddie Solomon breaking a tackle from Dennis Thurman, had him down low and couldn't hold him. Solomon plunges into the end zone, and the Niners have scored to lead it 6-0.
Montana rolled out right that time. Solomon was in motion across the formation. Montana rolled out right. Solomon ran a short flat pattern in front of Thurman, caught the ball. Thurman missed the tackle. Solomon dove into the end zone for the 6.
Here's Ray Wershing attempting his 31st straight try for point this year. 6-0. Montana waiting for the snap from Cross. Gets the ball placed down. The kick on its way. It is good. And San Francisco's ahead by 7. We got a timeout on the field. And that took just about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. We got 10:40 to go in the first quarter here at Candlestick. And the score, the 49ers 7 and the Cowboys nothing. When the 49ers drive 63 yards in their first possession, Joe Montana doing a tremendous job in finding his receivers, sometimes under a bit of pressure, and that has to be scary to that secondary of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, it's tremendously demoralizing what he has done to them so far. From experience on defense, there's nothing worse than getting back there and playing your defense to perfection, which the Cowboys did a couple times, and then have the quarterback make a big play on you by running around back there in the pocket. Montana did that. 63 yards they gained on that drive. Montana threw for 60 of those, 4 for 5.
And here's Ray Wershing ready to kick off. Dallas's James Jones waiting at the goal line. Here's the kick. High, but not too deep. Coming up, Jones grabs it up the 11. Comes up to 15, goes to his right to the 20. Turns the corner, but is run out of bounds on the far side up around the 27-yard line by Bobby Leopold. Leopold running him out up around the 27-yard line. So he ran it back about 16 from the 11 to the 27. And Dallas will start its second possession about the same point at which they started the first. They, remember, wound up after starting from the 26 at their own 15-yard line on Dwayne Ford's sack. By the way, that was his 8th of the season. He got 7 during the regular campaign. And here is Dallas now. They're actually starting from their 29-yard line. First down and 10 to go. They bring in two tight ends, Billy Joe Dupree and Jay Salty now. Tony Dorsett is on the bench for the moment. Ron Springs is, let's see, here's Tony Hill back in there now. They've got only one tight end. Salty is in there. As there goes White back to pass. He fakes once, now throws. It's caught up around the 33-yard line by Dupree, and he goes down immediately, hit by Keena Turner. Keena Turner, chicken pox and all. You wonder whether that might, if he's running any kind of a fever, whether it might weaken him. But he makes the play with no problem there, and it'll be second down about 5 to go. A gain of 5 on the play for the Cowboys. They're at their own 34-yard line. In case you just tuned in, the 49ers struck in the first 4 minutes and 20 seconds to lead Dallas 7-0. This is Dallas' second possession. They were forced to punt the first time. They line up now with Tony Dorsett, along with Ron Springs, the running backs. They shift into a split behind Danny White. The handoff is given to Dorsett. Dashes through the middle. Gets some yardage for a first down up the 42-yard line before Dwight Hicks and Eric Wright pinched him down at the 42. And a gain on that play of about 6 yards.
Proof to you right there, just that play with Dorsett's quickness getting to the line of scrimmage, that the field here is in excellent shape. Dorsett very quick to the line that time, busting through the hole and into the secondary.
Well, it doesn't take him much momentum to get that straightaway speed going, does it, Wayne? Up the line of scrimmage they come now. They're in an I formation this time. Ron Springs, the fullback. Now they split out of it, and they shift back to it. They merely try to draw an extra step away from those linebackers and trying to change their alignment. Here's the fake handoff by White, back to pass. He's being chased. The penalty marker's thrown. He throws his pass. It is incomplete. They got a penalty marker right at the feet of Danny White that time, as Drew Pearson was the intended receiver. And it's against the Dallas Cowboys.
Keena Turner came from a blitz on the right side that time, the outside linebacker position, and he was held.
Keena Turner putting the pressure that time on Danny White. Say the rich full-body taste of Michelob, don't just compare it to other light beers. Compare the taste to any beer you like. It's that good.
It was Ron Springs, number 20, who had an arm around Turner. We'll get the call.
Holding, offense, 10 yards, still first down.
I didn't name a guilty party, but Springs was the one that was picking up Turner on the blitz, let him get by and threw an arm out on him.
49er defense to set that for you. The customary three-man front, Stuckey, Reese, and Ford. The linebackers on the outside, Turner and Harper. Inside, Reynolds and Buki. And the corners, Wright and Lott. Williamson and Hicks, of course, the safeties. Up the line of scrimmage to the Cowboys, shifting out of an I formation. They shift back into it. Springs along with Dorsett. Here's White. Play action fake to Springs. Gives it to Dorsett over the left guard. Past the 35, up the 37-yard line. He's hit after gaining about 5 yards on the play. Dorsett getting 5. He averaged 4.8 during the entire regular season.
Archie Reese with a good play there, a good save that time, because on the draw play, He fought back to get into that play. Dorsett had a big hole, had a couple blockers in front of him. It was just good hustle by Reese that time that held down the gain on that play.
Reese knocked him down at the 37-yard line. That would be a gain of 5 to make it 2nd and 15. Cosby leaves. Billy Joe Dupree, the normal tight end, is in there again. Mentioned Dorsett getting 4.8 during the season. He got about 5 1/3 yards a try last week against Tampa Bay, as well as catching 4 passes. 5 defensive backs in. The pitch back to Dorsett, getting a block from Springs, goes in behind it and gets up to the 45 to the 46-yard line, and gains, from the 38 to the 46, that'd be about 8 yards. So Dallas comes up after the 10-yard penalty with a third and manageable 5 yards, but there might be a possible penalty. There's an injured player on the play across the way, a Dallas Cowboy.
I think it might be Dorsett down. Not sure. He made the cut over there back to the inside, Don, and it looks like his leg went out from under him, his outside leg.
Meantime, we got a timeout. We'll check that in a moment. Timeout called on the field here with 8 minutes and 9 seconds left to go first quarter. The score reading, San Francisco 7 and Dallas nothing. Across the way, the hand for Tony Dorsett. He is walking, let's see, yes, that's Tony Dorsett walking off the field under his own power. And certainly you have to hope that one of the great all-time performers in the league is okay for this ball game, Wayne.
I think he's probably okay. He got up and looked like he was walking pretty good, just maybe a little bit shaky. He got hit pretty hard over there after picking up the 8 yards. He's already gained more in this ball game than he did in that first one. He's gained 23 yards now in 4 carries. He was 21 yards in that first ball game, the 45-14 blowout by the Niners, and 9 carries.
You have to feel this surface is much better than it might have been for that afternoon. You have to give credit to Jim Lucy and his groundkeepers here at Candlestick. They were working overtime and then some all week, and they have this field, from all appearances from our vantage point, from what we've heard down below, in good condition for this afternoon. This beautiful site, well designed, all the markings for the championship game. Here we go, 3rd down. 4 receivers are in. Pearson, Johnson, Donnelly, and Hill in there for the Dallas Cowboys. San Francisco counters with Lynn Thomas as a 5th nickelback. Going back to pass on 3rd and 6 is White. He throws it 30 yards downfield. A beautiful catch by Johnson. He's got it at the San Francisco 35-yard line. A leaping catch by Butch Johnson that time. Ronnie Lott had him pretty well covered, but Johnson made the catch for a first down at the San Francisco 35-yard line.
It was a marvelous catch by Butch Johnson that time. Lott was on him man for man. The minute he left the line of scrimmage, bumped him a couple times as he was coming out before he hit 5 yards. Tried to stay with him, had him covered, was in good shape. A good throw and a great catch by Johnson as he leaped up and made it.
Johnson's having the best season of his career, by the way. Best in passes, yardage, and TDs. He, of course, led the nation as a collegian back at 1975 playing down to Riverside. He's a great pass catcher. He proved it there. 1st and 10 at the 35. James Jones in there for Dorsett. The handoff given to Jones. He is hit behind the line of scrimmage, thrown back at the 37-yard line by Archie Reese again. Archie Reese with a fine defensive move. Nail Jones is in for Dorsett. And that's a loss of about 1.5 yards. 2nd and call at 12.
Well, Archie manhandled the center that time. Tom Rafferty stood him right straight up, was able to go either way off the break by Jones.
That, of course, is Reese's main intent today, to overpower Rafferty, who is a converted guard playing at the center spot for the Dallas Cowboys over the ball. Rafferty, a veteran of 6 seasons out of Penn State. In the I formation now are Jones and Spring. There's the handoff given to the tailback Jones, and he goes over the left tackle, goes to his right, and then cuts down to the 31-yard line and gains about 5 yards. Actually, he had lost about 1 yard on the previous play. It was 2nd and 11. That'll bring up 3rd. And about 6 to go. The tackle made by Willie Harper coming off the strong side linebacker post from the outside that time. They're marking the ball at the 30-yard line, leaving 3rd and 6. Dallas 1 for 2 on their 3rd down conversions the first couple of tries today. Dupree has come back into the ball game for Doug Cosby at the tight end spot. Dallas stays with 2 normal wide receivers. Tony Hill going out wide right and coming out left is Drew Pearson. From a shotgun formation now, Danny White, flanked by Springs and Jones. In motion goes Dupree, the tight end, going back to pass is White. He throws it. It is caught, then slipping as he caught that ball. Going down is Jones, and it is short of a first down by a couple 3 yards. He was tackled to the 26-yard line, that time by Bobby Leopold. Niners had gone to their nickel defense, in which they bring in Lynn Thomas. They take out Pookie Reynolds and Harper, insert Leopold and leave Turner in there, and Leopold was on the play.
And the Cowboys are going to elect to go for the field goal.
Coming in to attempt it is Raphael Septian, the Pro Bowler. Picked All-Pro by the Sporting News this week. He's kicked 27 for 35. He's kicking from the 35-yard line. At this range this year, he is 8 for 9. Waiting now and holding the ball is Charlie Waters. Waiting for the snap, kicking a 35-yard attempt on its way. It has enough distance, and it is good. And Dallas is on the scoreboard with the first 3 points for the Cowboys. Timeout on the field with 4:44 left to go in the first quarter here at Candlestick. And the score now, San Francisco 7 and Dallas 3. Well, the Dallas Cowboys, their second possession, marched 44 yards rather impressively, and you've got a 7-3 ball game, the result of Septien's 34-yard field goal. Raphael Septien, who came into this ball game with 27 out of 35 as far as this current season is concerned. He has a nearly unbelievable 87% effectiveness inside from 40 yards, and bear in mind, as I mentioned, he was kicking 34 there. Ready to kick off and back to receive for the 49ers. Lawrence along with Bill Ring. Here it comes down to Ring at the 5-yard line. Grabs it at the 4. Comes straight to the middle at the 15. He's hit, and down he goes at the 21-yard line. Running it back 17 yards before he was tackled by Robert Newhouse. So the 49ers have the ball for the second time this afternoon. And Wayne, the question now, whether that shook up that secondary. Joe Montana's effective passing 4 for 5 in the first drive for 63 yards. We'll see how they react this time.
Well, it looked like, once again, a marvelous game plan by Bill Walsh and his coaching staff. They came out, they spread the field out on the Cowboys again, brought in wide receivers, ran them out of the backfield. They've got the defense thinking out there, no doubt about it.
They've got Wilson as the third wide receiver now. Clark, Solomon, and Wilson in there. Only one running back is Earl Cooper. Going back to pass is Montana on first down. The pass is thrown, and it is intercepted.
No.
It's dropped. It's caught, actually, by Young. He caught it, turned around, and looked for a moment as if it had slipped off into the hands of a Cowboy, and Young got it. He got it up around the 29.
He got it actually on the second carry. He had it in his hands at one time, and it bounced away, and it looked for a minute. I think it might have been number 53, Bob Brunig, who got a hand on it. Let's check and see. No, it was Dede, number 50, Dede Lewis, who got a hand on it and actually tipped it back to Young.
And that's what you call concentration on the part of Charlie Young. He got it for a gain of 8 yards. Second down and 2 now at the 29-yard line. They line up with two running backs in position on a split, Elliott and Cooper, as Montana goes back to pass again, coming out to his right. Looks over to the near side, throws it away as it was to the near side, and well covered was Solomon under the guard of Everson Walls, the rookie cornerback from Grambling. That'll make it a third down and 2 to go for the Niners now at their own 29-yard line.
Yes, they were trying to get a deep one that time, trying to get an easy 6 on the Cowboys' defensive backs over there. They're trying to run Dwight Clark deep on Dennis Thurman off the play action in a short yardage situation, but he didn't buy it.
Friends by Farmers Insurance, FIG, in Daly City. Call Bernardo Cortez, and in San Francisco, Vera Lee. See your fast, fair-friendly Farmers agent soon. And here we go, third down and 2. Niners line up with a double tight end set. Easton Ramson's in. Running the ball that time is Ring, and he meets a stone wall of Cowboys.
May have been a fumble down there, too.
Oh, it looks as if Dallas has recovered at the bottom of that pile down around the 29-yard line as Ring fumbled. And it was recovered down there by Guy Brown, the strong side linebacker. And there's a big break for the Cowboys and a tough one for the 49ers, the first turnover of the afternoon.
Ring took a big hit. Brown came up with the ball, but it might have been number 58, Mike Hagman, the outside linebacker, who filled down in there along with Brunig and got the hit on Ring and popped that ball out.
We got a timeout on the field, 3:39 to go in the first period, and the score is 7-3 in favor of the 49ers. We resume action in a hurry here, a short timeout, and here's Danny White ready. The handoff is given to Jones, and he goes through the middle up to about the 25-yard line, a gain of 4 yards on the play. Dallas trailing 7-3, now in striking distance of taking their first lead of the afternoon if they even capitalize on the turnover. And as all of you 49er fans know, that has not been a problem for San Francisco this year. They're the league leader with a surplus of 23, but bear in mind Dallas just a step behind number 2 in the NFL with a surplus of 18 this year. They took the ball away on interceptions 4 times from Tampa Bay last week. The 49ers had a surplus of 3 against the Giants. So these are 2 specialists in that regard, and Dallas has struck first in that territory today. Ready again now, second down and 6 to go as Danny White calls his signals. He has Jones and Springs behind him, going back to pass is White. He throws a long one to the corner to Hill, and it is caught, and a touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys as Hill caught it over his shoulder against the guard of Eric Wright. 1-on-1 in the corner, and Hill won that one, and Dallas scores 6 points for his first lead of the afternoon in going ahead 9-7. Tony Hill on the touchdown.
Don, it was a perfectly thrown pass by Danny White as he had Tony Hill on an up pattern down the sideline against Eric Wright, man for man, lofted it up. Hill ran under it. Wright was in great shape right on the shoulder, didn't get his head turned around, to see the flight of the ball and was kind of face guarding. Had he turned around and looked back, he probably would have been able to get a hand on that ball, but it looped right over him into the hands of Hill for the 6 points.
Rayfield Septien will be kicking. Holding the ball is Charlie Waters, going for Dallas's 10th point and a 3-point lead with it. Waiting for the snap back from Tom Rafferty. Now there it is, placed down and kicked, and it is good. Septien hasn't missed in 40 tries this year, and there's his 41st. We got a timeout on the field now with 2 minutes, 49 seconds left in the first quarter.
Dallas leading 10-7. The Cowboys going 26 yards in 2 plays after recovering the Bill Ring fumble. The key play, of course, a 26-yard touchdown pass, Danny White to Tony Hill for the 7th.
Rayfield Septien is ready to kick off. That march going quickly. Those 29 yards after the fumble recovery is Danny White, by the way, is now 4 for 5 for 59 yards. Montana 5 for 7 for 68. Waiting for the referee's whistle. There it is. And coming forward is Septien. Rayfield kicks it. Coming deep. And Amos Lawrence grabs it in the end zone. He's coming out. He comes to the 10. Avoids a tackler at the 15, but is hit at the 17. Penalty marker's been thrown on the play. There might have been an illegal block on the part of the San Francisco 49ers, and we'll check it. Danny Spradlin made the stop on the run back.
The Cowboys are reacting like it was on the 49ers.
Now the question, of course, it's early in the ball game, but the first bit of adversity has struck the 49ers. And as we indicated at the beginning, mistakes are what will determine playoff games one way or the other, and we'll see whether or not the 49ers can regroup their forces after having helped hand to Dallas its first TD of the day when they had only 29 yards to go after that fumble recovery off the fumble by Bill Ring.
We got a long ways to go. Both coaches thought it would take about 4 touchdowns to win this one, and it kind of looks that way the way we started out.
Here's Solomon wide to the right side. Going out left is Dwight Clark. Running backs in there now are Elliott and Cooper. Here's the handoff given to Elliott. Coming around the corner. Couldn't get there. And is hit out of bounds. Couldn't make the turn as Everson Walls handed him off. Walls, who is a Dallas High School product himself and well-liked down in the Texas area. He's a member of the all-rookie team of the league and will be playing in the Pro Bowl in his rookie campaign, much to the match of Ronnie Lott of the 49ers.
That play was actually made by Larry Bethea, who was starting for John Dutton at left tackle. He got good penetration and forced Elliott to belly back, and that enabled Walls to get up in the containment.
Second down now, 13 to go, a loss of 3 on the play. Lone remaining back is Elliott. Receiver spotted on the left side. Coming out now is Earl Cooper to line up alongside Elliott. And again, Montana has the ball, gives to Cooper. Cooper over the left guard and plows his way up to about the 11 or 12-yard line on the play and gains 6 yards before Larry Bethea, who's taken over for the injured John Dutton this afternoon, made the stop. Dutton, by the way, is the only player, and he's not playing in this afternoon's game. He's the only man on this 45-man roster of the Dallas Cowboys who came through a trade. The other 44 are all rookie draftees and free agent sign-ups. He came from Baltimore 3 years ago, but that thigh injury put him out of this ball game. 49ers now 1 for 2 on third down conversions. They have a 3rd and 6 situation. Dallas counters what's expected to be Montana's pass with a 6-man backfield. Barnes and Fellows joining the primary 4. Going back to pass is Montana. Rush from behind. Throws his pass incomplete. Just off the hands that time of Linville Elliott. Dwight Clark converging on the pass also. Harvey Martin put the pressure coming up from behind and almost had Montana as he was getting rid of the ball. 4th down, and Jim Miller is coming in to punt for San Francisco, and Dallas could come up with some pretty good field position here.
Yes, I was just going to say that was an important 3rd down play for the 49ers to pick up a 1st down and improve their field position should they have to punt if they don't continue the drive. Now, a good run back here would really give Dallas good shape, so Miller's got to nail one, and they've got to get good coverage.
Back to punt is Jim Miller. Back to receive is James Jones. Dallas putting on a 10-man rush. Miller punting from the end zone. James so far this year is hit 41 and a half yards on the average, but too much run back, about 11 yards. Here's James with the ball going wide after the catch to the 40 down to the 36-yard line, and he ran that one back about 12 yards. That's been the season average, 11 to be exact, against the 49ers on run backs. Milton McCall making the stop, and Dallas has good field position at the 49ers 37-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cowboys.
And I don't believe Tony Dorsett is back in the ball game yet. It looks like it's still 23 James Jones in there. We got a report that Dorsett had a scratch under the eye. He's suffering double vision over on the sideline. They say it'll probably clear up in a short time. When he does, he'll be back in.
Dallas up the line of scrimmage now as Coney Hill comes wide the left side. Going out right is Drew Pearson. The running backs are in the eye. There's Springs and Jones in there as the tailback. comes out of there split now with the springs. Goes back in as they shift from the eye to the split and then back again, their normal system. Here's the play-action fake. White under a rush, throws his pass. Man open and incomplete. Dupree, the tight end, up around the 35. Couldn't hold it as White under a rush. Jim Stuckey was one of them putting the pressure on, and Fred Dean was after him too. It's incomplete. That'll make it 2nd and 10.
They're trying to fool the 49er defense that time. Danny White sat in the pocket, then rolled out to the right, kind of a half roll out, and then was going to throw back to his tight end who had faked the block at the line of scrimmage and drifted out into the left flat.
So you're looking to make your banking more convenient? Look into the nearest Bank of America. Whatever your checking or savings needs, you'll find Bank of America offering a variety of money conveniences. Dallas up the line of scrimmage now. Double tight ends. Dupree and Cosby are in there. Going back to pass. So on 2nd and 10, White throws a screen. Caught by Springs. He's hit immediately by Willie Harper. Harper threw in for a loss, but nobody got the ball. A loss of about 3 yards on the play. Harper cut in behind the blockers who were ready to convoy, in this case, Springs downfield, but they never had a chance to help him as Harper broke up the play beautifully. A loss of 3, 3rd and 13.
Excellent play by Harper that time. As he started his drop, he saw the back move out in the flat, started up, and he beat the block of the guard who was pulling out on the screen action.
Now going to 3 wide receivers. Hill, Donnelly, Pearson. 4th man is Butch Johnson. 4 wide receivers are in there. Ron Springs alone remaining back. And Danny White will operate from a shotgun. 5 defensive backs are in. The nickelback, Lynn Thomas. Dallas so far has had 3 third downs, and they've converted 1 to a first down. This is a tough one for White at 3rd and about 13. He operates from a shotgun formation, flanked on the right by Ron Springs, Pearson, Johnson, Hill, and Donnelly. 4 wide receivers. Double slotted left and right. Going back to pass. Once again, White. Good protection. Throws his pass. Caught on the run and hit immediately is Doug Donnelly. Hit by Lynn Thomas, the 5th back in there who got him. And Dallas will be forced to go to a 4th down situation after a gain of about 4 or 5 yards on the play from the 35. See where they would line up with whether Sepien is coming in. No, he's not. It's Danny White. And here is a key situation for White now. He will watch and see what Pookie and Buns do to line up to contain him if he should decide on a 4th down and 8 in good field position, rather than to punt that ball. He's known to run him and sometimes pass him from punt formation as time runs out to end the first quarter. So that's something to think about. The end of the first quarter with the score, Dallas 10, San Francisco 7.
Well, the Cowboys will more than likely kick it away here. They are at 4th down, 9 yards to go. The ball is on the 35-yard line. Danny White, their quarterback, of course, is their punter, and many times during the season he has run off the punt formation. As Don Klein mentioned, he'll get back his 15 yards, take the snap, check and see what the rush is, and then make the decision on his own. You know, after he was hurt in a game earlier in the year, he came back, did not play in a game against, I believe it was Baltimore, and was in there only to punt because he was injured, couldn't play quarterback, and in that game, he took off on a run from punt formation. Tom Landry, when he came to the sideline, of course, didn't call it from the sideline. Tom Landry said to him, "Are you crazy?" But it's usually calculated when White takes off.
And here's White ready now on 4th down from the 35-yard line. Back to receive are Solomon and Hicks. Waiting for the snapback is White. 4th and 8. He's got it. He's kicking and boots it toward the near corner. It may get into the end zone, though. It bounces into the end zone for the touchback, and San Francisco will have it after giving up field position to Dallas at their 36-yard line, escaping any further damage, as the Niners have it 1st down and 10 at their own 20-yard line and trailing 10-7 in the opening seconds of the second quarter. The 49ers, remember, were the toughest team to score on in first quarter play in the NFC this past year, giving up only 40 points in 16 games. Dallas yielded 61, by the way, with 21 of those coming at the hands of the Niners, who jumped off of that 21-0 lead. So there's your trend in contrast between the 2 ball games. At this point in October, San Francisco led 21-0. They trail 10-7 now as Montana's ready from the 20. He gives it off to Cooper, getting a block from Cross, but can't use it, and down he goes at the 19-yard line, throwing for a yard loss. Earl Cooper hit by D.D. Lewis, the right side linebacker, along with Harvey Martin.
A good team defense that time by the Cowboys. The right end, Harvey Martin, who was set back in the flex that time. He's a yard off the line of scrimmage. It was Dan Og's job to try to hook him that time, and set back like that, it gives Martin an extra 1/10 of a second to read the block, and he read it, slid on out along the line, strung it out, and it was the veteran linebacker Lewis who made the hit.
Dwight Clark now comes wide left. Solomon is out right. Lone remaining back is Bill Ring in behind Montana. He hands it off to Ring. Again, the block by the guards. He cuts in and goes past the 25, cuts again, still on his feet, and being battled down the 28-yard line. There's another gutsy run that time for Bill Ring. He started out wide to the right, cut back to his left up the middle, and got about 5 extra yards. John Ayers and Randy Cross, the guards were pulling to lead him. It was Everson Walls who had him first, couldn't hold him, and then D.D. Lewis came up to finish it off for Dallas, just a yard short of a first down. 3rd and 1 to go for the Niners at their 29.
Well, that was just an excellent-looking sweep that time. Ring and the guards got outside. Someone did an excellent job on the strong side linebacker. Hagman over on the left side, probably the tight end Charlie Young.
3rd down, 1 to go. San Francisco intent on keeping possession here. And here's Montana ready with double tight ends set in there. Eason Ramson's in. There goes Young in motion to the right. The handoff is faked. The pass is thrown, and Young got it up around the 32-yard line. As the Niners cross them up, Dallas looking for a run on a fake to Ring, and then the thrown pass, that time to Charlie Young on a 3rd and 1. The Niners gamble and win with it. Dennis Thurman was the man who stopped Young after the catch up around the 32, 33-yard line. Gain of 4, 1st and 10. There's some imagination shown by Bill Walsh and the staff on that one, on that call, taking a chance, Wayne.
Gutsy call that time. Young was in motion all the way across the formation, and then out in the flat, Montana rolled that way, and as Young crossed the first down marker, Montana got it to him.
Up the line of scrimmage come the 49ers now. They've gone again to a double tight end formation. Ramson and Young both in. The handoff is given to Cooper. He cuts in over the middle and gets up to the 35. Cooper had to slow up a bit as he looked for that hole, couldn't find it, and that delayed him. By then, Dallas converging with Randy White and Harvey Martin again on him. Randy White, reputedly the strongest player on the Dallas team, and the man about whom Tom Landry says he just never has a bad ball game. He makes the stop that time at the 35, and it's now 2nd down, about 8 to go for the Niners. They're at the San Francisco 35-yard line. As here comes Solomon wide to the left, and Cooper setting up as a slot back on the left side now. Clark to the right, and Ring the lone remaining back. The ball is fake to him. Montana avoiding a rush. Throws his pass downfield. Clark is open. He's caught it at the 30. He's down to the 26-yard line. Dwight Clark taking that pass, thrown by Joe Montana. Ed Jones trying to get to Montana, couldn't, and it was Everson Walls who made the stop on Clark down around the 27-yard line.
A good play action again by Montana. He faked it to Ring, kept it on his hip, rolled out to the right in the face of Too Tall Jones. Montana saw him, made a good move, got back inside. Jones went by, and he spotted Clark downfield. Great movement again by Montana.
49ers have the ball at the Dallas 27-yard line now. 1st down, 10 to go. They trail 10-7. The clock, 11 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the half. They slot the receivers on the right side. Clark in motion now comes Ramson, the tight end, and Montana didn't like whatever he saw, and he comes up and he's calling for a timeout. We've got a timeout as the 49ers use one up to clear up something from the side with Bill Walsh. Timeout in the field with 11:15 to go in the 2nd quarter. The score is 10-7 in favor of Dallas. That 38-yard pass to Dwight Clark puts San Francisco in business at the 27-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys, where it is 1st down and 10 to go. The Niners trailing by 3 points. As Joe Montana came over to talk to Bill Walsh to get something straight out there in the offensive attack here.
Montana 7 of 10 so far for 109 yards and the 1 touchdown. Danny White is 6 of 8 for 42 yards and a touchdown.
Here's San Francisco, the line of scrimmage now. They slot right. That's Eason Ramson in motion, coming back left. The play-action fake to Elliott. As Montana sets up, he's in trouble. He's sacked. He's hit at the 32-yard line. Losing 5. Harvey Martin got him. There's a guy who's been the leader or the co-leader of sacks for the last 9 years for these Dallas Cowboys. In his 9 seasons, he's averaged 13 sacks a year. He got 10 this past season. He got Montana that time. A loss of 6, 2nd down and 16 to go for the 49ers now. They're at the Dallas 32-yard line.
Montana wanted to go deep that time to Eason Ramson, running on the strong safety Charlie Waters. Waters in pretty good shape. Montana had to take a little bit longer than he wanted to, and Martin was there.
Dallas adds Ron Fellows along with Benny Barnes to their 4 defensive backs. Going back to pass now as Montana throws his pass, caught by Clark. He is hit at the 22-yard line and gains about 10 yards in the play. Ron Fellows tackled him, and Dwight Clark taking that pass. Dwight caught that 38-yarder a moment ago, and remember, it was the 78-yard touchdown pass against Dallas, the longest of his career in the previous game here. So Dwight has himself a fine time against that Dallas secondary. It's 3rd down, and here's a key play for the Niners. 3rd and about 6. Up the line of scrimmage they come now on 3rd and 6 from the 22-yard line. Double tight ends are in. Ramson along with Charlie Young. Dallas stays in a 6-man secondary. In motion now goes Mike Wilson, the wide receiver. Montana throwing toward Wilson in the corner. It is intercepted. It's picked off by the Cowboys. That was Everson Walls who intercepted against Mike Wilson. He was in motion. Montana threw to him a little short. He underthrew him, and Walls picked it off. He was a leader in interceptions in the league this year with 11, and he comes up with a key defensive move for the Cowboys on that one.
Well, the secret to that play was Mike Wilson, who was in motion coming out of the backfield. He actually lined up in the backfield. The wide receiver ran a flat, got to the sideline, and turned it up. Walls was right with him and then turned around and saw the ball and picked it off, and they will mark it at the 2-yard line.
So Dallas takes over on the second turnover against the 49ers, something that has not bothered them this year, and Dallas has that ball at their 2. You know, United flies the most non-stops and the most wide bodies to Chicago, and that's why more people fly the friendly skies of the Windy City than any other airline. Last time San Francisco gave up the ball in the fumble, remember, the Cowboys capitalized on it for the touchdown. They passed from White to Tony Hill from 26 yards out. The only difference here now being the fact that they got the fumble at the San Francisco 29. They got this turnover at their own 2-yard line, so they're 98 yards away from paying off a turnover.
And you got to keep in mind, if you're playing defense down there for the 49ers, that a lot of times after a turnover, Tom Landry will try to go for it all. It'll be a play-action pass. You got to tell your defensive backs now, play your own. Stay back there and keep everything in front of you, because you could get a play action right here and they're trying to go deep and get 6 and get it all at once.
You have to feel that Dallas's defense has turned things around after yielding that first 63-yard drive. They had their best defensive effort of the year last week against the Tampa Bay, the front line sacking Doug Williams 4 times, and they forced him into 4 interceptions and 2 intentional grounding penalties as the Bucs got only 222 yards total offense, the lowest yield by Dallas this year. So they came in here defensively strong. As far as momentum goes from last week, the Niners got the jump on them in their first possession, in case you just joined us, to lead 7-0. But Dallas is certainly giving signs now of having regrouped its defensive forces. Dupree and Cosby lined up as double tight ends. Coming wide is Drew Pearson. Wide receiver on the right, he's a lone receiver. Jones and Spring lined up in a split behind Danny White. He has the ball. There might have been a fumble there. Danny White is on it if he did fumble it. White tried to draw up the middle that time and cross up the Niners. And might have picked up a half yard, but no more, before Stuckey and Reese closed in on him.
If that was a quarterback draw and design, that it was just a stutter step where he took the snap, moved back like it was going to be a handoff 1 step, and came back over the center. Just kind of a delayed quarterback sneak.
So 2nd down and 9 to go now for the Cowboys as they send Pearson, again wide right. He's a lone receiver. Coming up nose on nose against him is Ronnie Lott to cover. Running back should have split. White sets his line, has the ball, and hands it off. This time to Springs. He's hit as he got to the 3 and no further. Archie Reese got him. So it is 3rd down and still about 8 to go here. And the Niners, if they can hold here, they'll force Dallas into giving them pretty good field position. Dallas has had trouble converting to first downs. They have had 4 tries and made only 1 of them so far today. Dallas, as I mentioned, was number 2 in the league in the turnover surplus this year. And they so far have picked up a fumble and an intercepted pass against the Niners. Timmy Newsom's come in now, replacing Ron Springs at the fullback spot. They line up on the I formation. Newsom is the blocking back. In the tail is Jones for Dorsett. Handoff given to Jones. He goes wide, trying to contain him, forcing him out of bounds. His right, he got him. Just short of a first down. He almost got it. Jones was forced out by Eric Wright at the 10-yard line, a gain of about 7. They needed 8.5. And so the Dallas Cowboys come into punt, and Danny White will be kicking. And back to receive for the Niners will be Dwight Hicks and Freddie Solomon. Big roar from this crowd for the San Francisco defense. The 3rd punt for the Cowboys in 5 possessions today. Solomon and Dwight Hicks are all set, waiting at midfield, actually about their own 45-yard line. White averaged about 40.5 yards a kick this year, number 8 in the NFC. Waiting for the snap, he's got it. He gets his kick away. It's coming down to the far side, and a fair catch called for by Dwight Hicks up there at about the 47-yard line. A 37-yard kick by Danny White, and the 49ers have good field position starting this drive from their Dallas's 47-yard line. First time today, as a matter of fact, the Niners have started a drive in the opposition territory.
Pretty intense ball game so far, Don. Good hitting on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and I would just expect that it's going to remain that way all afternoon.
10-7 in favor of Dallas here. We have 8 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the first half. As Joe Montana's ready. Clark to the left, Solomon right. The handoff is given to Cooper. Bursts through the middle, high enough hole, and gets past the 40 and gets down to the 36-yard line. He gains about 11 or 12 yards on the play. John Ayers opened up a big hole. Ayers, who had a great day against Randy White in the previous go-around. And then it was John, who handled Lawrence Taylor last week of the Giants, and he opened up a big hole through which Cooper galloped for 11 yards on that one before Charlie Waters, the strong safety, got him.
Well, both guards, Ayers and Cross, got their men, White and Bethea, turned outside, and Fred Quillen got a block on the middle linebacker, Brunig.
Charlie Waters, who is playing in his 25th playoff game of his career, if you can imagine that. He made the stop that time. First down and 10 to go from the 36. In motion comes Glenville Elliott. Going back to pass, Montana throws. It's caught up at around the 25-yard line. Caught that time by Freddie Solomon as Emerson Walls got him, but that is a first down again, a gain of 12 more as Joe Montana hit Solomon that time. First and 10 now. 6 minutes and 30 seconds remain here in the first half on a beautiful day in San Francisco. And coming to the line of scrimmage now are Clark going wide left and Solomon right. Running backs in there, Ring and Cooper. Or is that Elliott in there? It's Elliott. In motion goes Cooper. There goes Montana back to pass under a rush. He escapes it. He throws into the end zone. Open man is Clark. He's got it. A 49er touchdown. Joe Montana somehow avoided the rush of Brunig and Lewis. The two linebackers were blitzing. He escaped the blitz. He found Clark open. He threw to him for the touchdown, and the 49ers are ahead.
Boy, Montana is just breaking their hearts coming out of the pocket like that. That was a great job again by him. He looked like he was going to be hit twice back in the pocket, and through that pass was somebody hanging on his leg. To a wide open Dwight Clark. Dallas obviously blew the coverage.
Here's Wersching's kick. It's up. It is good. And the 49ers have a 14-10 lead. We got a timeout in the field with 6 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in the first half. Of the score now, San Francisco 14 and Dallas 10.
Oh, the crowd up and cheering right here on that touchdown drive by the 49ers. 47 yards and 4 plays, capped by a tremendous individual effort by Joe Montana. As the Dallas Cowboys had a blitz on, Montana appeared to be all but buried. Somehow stepped up, evaded some of the rush, had a Cowboy all over his back when he threw it to Dwight Clark, who was wide open in the end zone. 6 minutes and 12 seconds left to play in the first half, and the 49ers lead it by a score of 14-10.
Bob Brunig was the first in on that, Wayne. He had a crack at Montana, missed him. D.D. Lewis tried to pick him up after the first miss, and he couldn't get him. Montana then was given the reprieve he needed, and he found Clark in the end zone. The kick coming down to James Jones, grabs it at the goal line, comes up to the 10, cuts out to his right, back to his left. He's hit and loses his balance and then falls forward to the 20-yard line. So a 20-yard return for James Jones, and Dallas is in business at the Cowboy 20-yard line for their 6th possession of the afternoon. It was Hicks, Williamson, and Wright who got Jones after he had lost his balance a bit, and he was an easy prey then at the 20-yard line, where to be 1st and 10 for Dallas. I mentioned their 6th possession, the previous 5. They have punted 3 times. They got a 34-yard field goal out of Raphael Septien and the touchdown pass of 26 yards to Tony Hill. Now the crowd yells defense here for the 49ers as they set it up against the Dallas flanker back spot on the left side. Countered by Wright, and Lott moves over there to go nose-on-nose against Pearson and Hill. Once again is White ready. He pitches back, this time to Springs, and Springs gets up to about the 23-yard line before he's hit, and hit hard at the 23. First by Keena Turner, then by Willie Harper, the 2 outside linebackers.
Really a strange call, strange call that time by the Cowboys. Not what they had in the huddle, but the fact that White didn't audibilize that time, because the 49ers had their 3-man line shifted towards the left, right into where the Cowboys ran at. If White would check that off and run back the other side, have a much better chance.
Tony Dorsett has come back into the ball game for the Dallas Cowboys. First time since he was hit over on the far side and suffered some eye damage. Fred Dean is in now as a fourth lineman up front on the right side, or rather on the left. Here's the handoff the ball given to Dorsett. He goes left and gets up to about the 28-yard line. When I say eye damage, I should explain. As Wayne had mentioned earlier, he was complaining of having some double vision over there. And they said it would clear up, and evidently that has been the case. He's okay, and it's now 3rd down and 2 to go for Dallas. They're at their about the 28.5-yard line. Jack Reynolds made the stop on that one. Jack Reynolds, who some researchers found, by the way, they claim he is the only player in NFL history to play in 9 straight playoffs. He's played in the last 8, of course, with the Los Angeles Rams. Dupree, Cosby, and Salty. 3 tight ends are in on short yardage for a power play here now for the Dallas Cowboys. They have Springs and Dorsett in the split behind Danny White. In motion goes Salty, one of those 3 tight ends. Play action fake. They're passing on 3rd and 2. White has good protection. He throws his pass. It is caught, and Dupree wrestles himself forward to the 32, and he might have a first down. I believe he does. Carlton Williamson stopped him, but I don't believe in time to avoid the first down.
Excellent work that time by the 49ers secondary. White wanted play action, wanted to go deep. No one was open, and he had to roll out of the pocket and then get it to his tight end, Dupree, who struggled past Carlton Williamson, who made a good hit on him for the first down.
It is first at the 32-yard line of the Cowboys. Score now 14-10 in favor of the 49ers, on the clock showing 3 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the first half here at Candlestick Park. Dean comes out as the Niners have now gone to their normal 3-4 alignment. McCall's in there for Willie Harper on the strong side outside slot. One of those 4 linebackers in there. As White works his running backs into an I formation. The pitch back to Dorsett, getting a block from Springs, goes outside, and he is forced out of bounds after rolling off the first tackle tried by Willie Harper, and Dwayne Ford got him on the far side.
Good play by Harper that time, who strung it out, kept his containment, stayed to the outside. More and more people are discovering Chevrolet's Monte Carlo is a car that gives expression to the pride they have in themselves. Yet at the same time, Monte Carlo is engineered for a demanding world and has a Chevrolet price that certainly eases the mind.
That's a gain of about 3.5 yards, making a second down 6.5 for the Cowboys now at their own 36-yard line. Here comes Pearson wide to the right, and Tony Hill sets up as a slot back in that right formation. Running backs in an I, shift out of it. Dorsett's split, then goes back behind to Springs. In motion goes Drew Pearson. Here's the handoff fake to Dorsett. White back to pass. Good protection. Plenty of time. Comes out of the pocket now. He can't find a receiver. Now does. Throws. And it is caught at the 48-yard line by Dallas's Tony Hill. Crowd thinks he was out of bounds. He was hit by Ronnie Lott the moment he caught it. And they're saying he was in bounds. And that is a first down on a gain of 15.
What White wanted to do that time, he faked the handoff to Dorsett over the middle. Dorsett stopped at the line, held the counter to, and then filtered out over the middle. White wanted to get to him. If you're home watching on the replay, listen to us, watch Dorsett as he filters on out. Craig Pookie got an arm around Dorsett, held him up. White had nowhere to go, rolled out and found the alternate receiver. That's just good improvising by White.
Here's Dallas now at the San Francisco 47-yard line as they move Hill out to the left side, and coming out right is Drew Pearson. Short wingback is Dupree, the tight end. He comes in motion now. Running backs are split. There goes White back to pass. Fakes once. Now throws long. 40 yards down to Pearson. And it is intercepted by Lott. Lott got it. There's a penalty marker on the play. Lott coming upfield. He's at the 20, the 25, the 30, the 35, and down he goes. But now the question is pass interference against whom?
Well, I think it's going to be against Dallas.
If it's against Dallas, of course, the play goes, and Lott has a first down up around the 37. If it's against the 49ers, Dallas would have a first down around the 12-yard line. A discussion on the play now, whether Lott or Pearson. It's against the Niners.
Oh,
against the Niners.
I don't know whether I saw what they called then.
Oh, brother. Ronnie Lott's interception is waved off by a penalty, and the Dallas Cowboys will have the ball inside the 15-yard line.
We're getting it on our replay monitor up here. Drew Pearson on a fly. Lott in perfect shape. Boy, I tell you, I didn't see anything. You can't see anything on that.
There's no contact at all.
No, sir. Lott was in good shape. He's allowed to get in front of the receiver and slow down for the ball and kind of box him in. That's what he did. It was Pearson from behind who was doing the shove it, if anyone was.
Here's Dallas now with a big break and a tough one for the 49ers. The pressure put on the Niners defense from that one. The crowd understandably upset here at Candlestick. Here's Danny White ready from the 12-yard line. Double tight end set for the Cowboys. As in is Cosby with Dupree. Here's White handing off to Dorsett. Found a hole, goes to the left side, the 7-yard line, gains 5 before he's hit by Eric Wright. Let's pause 10 seconds here for station identification. This being the San Francisco 49er Radio Network.
Looking for a rush, look for me. Fred Dean, number 74 on my jersey and on your radio dial, KCBS, San Francisco Sports Radio.
Going to be Dallas's ball, second down and about 5. They can get a first down inside the 3-yard line in this series, so they have plenty of chances. Up the line of scrimmage they come. They trail 14-10. The Niners on top. Their lead placed in jeopardy by a call that is nothing short of questionable. Here's the handoff. The ball is given to Springs. He's hit immediately as he made the stop at the 5-yard line to Jack Reynolds that time, the number 1 tackler of the 49ers this year, and he got him.
Hard to tell sometimes because Hacksaw is so prepared whether he read that or had a blitz on, but he stepped up and made contact behind the line of scrimmage practically. A good play by the middle linebacker.
It's 3rd down and 3 here now, and the Niners would dearly love to stop Dallas short of a first down here and force them into a field goal try. They lead by 4.
Niners are going to switch right now. Yeah, they're putting some people in. That's their short yardage situation going in now.
Dallas will line up with 1 tight end, Jay Salty. They only got 1 in there. Wide receiver split. The handoff is pitched this time to Dorsett. He's running into the end zone for a Dallas touchdown. And the Cowboys have scored as Dallas elected to go to a pitch to Tony Dorsett to swing him wide the left side, and nobody touched him as he went into the end zone for the score from 5 yards out.
What a move by Dorsett as he took the toss, started wide, dipped in like he's going inside, and then with his quickness, bounced it back out and got in the corner of the end zone without a hand touchdown.
So the touchdown puts Dallas back on top by the score of 16-14, and trying to make it a 3-point lead once again is Raphael Septian and Charlie Waters holding. Waiting for that ball. Septian hasn't missed this year. Here's the kick on its way, and that one is good. And Dallas gets a 3-point lead. But I'll tell you, if that lead should hold up the rest of the afternoon, there's going to be a lot of second-guessing the officiating here this afternoon on the call on which Ronnie Lott had a flag thrown on him, and from every vantage point on the replay, it didn't appear to be any contact against Drew Pearson as the two went after the ball with a split of about a yard between them when Lott made his interception.
Yeah, I'm usually partial to the defense when penalties are called. I was playing for 15 years, but that was an exceptional play that time by Ronnie Lott. There was just no contact at all by him, and certainly didn't warrant a flag. You know, they say in these playoff games that they're only going to call, basically the flagrant penalties, and it really is going to have to be a penalty for them to call it. And that's certainly one that was the exception to that rule, because there wasn't any contact down there. The only contact basically that was made was Pearson shoving Lott from behind.
So Dallas glad to capitalize on a big break on their behalf, and they have a 17-14 lead with 2.5 minutes left to go in the first half of play here at Candlestick Park. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Wayne mentioned so much is at stake in this ball game. The officiating, of course, takes on paramount significance. Not only the pride of that Super Bowl, but bear in mind each of these players in this field is playing for $9,000 today to start off where the financial rewards are concerned. $9,000 to gain entry to the Super Bowl, and then if you win that, instead of 9, it's $18,000. The officials have to feel that kind of pressure too. Here is Raphael Septian ready to kick. Back to receive, Amos Lawrence along with Bill Ring. 49ers want to get into at least field goal range in the 2 minutes and 30 seconds at their disposal. Here's the kick on its way. End over ender, coming short of the goal line. Lawrence will grab it, he fumbled it. It's picked up on the bounce by Ring. He cuts in between 2 men, gets up to the 20. The ball bounced just right for Ring to keep momentum going. Caught it on the run without slowing. As Amos Lawrence fumbles that ball, and Everson Walls was the man who stopped the run back. It'll be 1st and 10 for San Francisco at the Niners' 20-yard line. In case you just joined us, this is possession number 6 for San Francisco today. They've scored twice on the previous 5. They gave up the ball on 2 turnovers by the interception and the fumble, and they punted once. 6 defensive backs are in against Montana's passing attack now. Joe rolls out of the pocket, throws over the middle. It's then dropped by Cooper the moment he had his hands on it. He was hit that time by Benny Barnes coming up to hit him. Benny Barnes, a former Stanford Card, who plays in there as the 5th back, and when they go to 6 men, they bring in Ron Fellows. They strip their linebackers, Lewis Brunig and Hegman in this case, and bring in Anthony Dickerson as the lone remaining linebacker. And that's the defense against which Montana's operating now. It's 2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line of San Francisco. Score 17-14 in favor of the Cowboys. The clock stopped with 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the half. Here comes Solomon wide to the left side. Going out right is Dwight Clark. Running backs in a wide splitter, Elliott and Cooper. The handoff is given to Elliott. Coming wide, gets a block from the guard and goes down at the 23-yard line. John Ayers was leading the interference that time, and Elliott got about 3 yards on the play. Leaving San Francisco with a 3rd and 7 as the clock winds down to the 2-minute warning. And there it is, 2 minutes remaining, and we've got a timeout called on the field. We'll break for 60. And with 2 minutes left in the half, the score is 17-14 in favor of Dallas.
Exactly 2 minutes left in this one, and the 49ers have possession. It'll be 3rd down, 7 yards to go with the ball at the 23-yard line of San Francisco. You questioned the call that last time on the sweep against the Dallas Prevent, basically their nickel defense. It was the Philadelphia Eagles last year that totally ate up that defense by running against it.
Here comes San Francisco to the line of scrimmage, which is their own 23rd-yard line. 3 wide receivers in for the Niners, 6 defensive backs for the Cowboys. Going back to pass again is Montana. He's rushed. He's sacked. Too tall Jones came in to get him. Jones got him that time and sacked Montana, hitting him back at the 13-yard line. Loss of almost 10 yards.
Cowboys had a stun on that time, Don. Both sides of the line. The defensive tackles went outside. The ends looped back inside, and Too Tall came open over the middle and really gave Joe Montana a jolt.
He had 8 sacks during the regular season. This is his 2nd this afternoon. And it looks as though Dallas is going to stop the clock, calling for a timeout here. With 1:55 to go, they're stopping the clock. They're going to get good field position here. They already lead by 3 and would like to increase it before going into the dressing room for halftime. Cowboys, who are 3-1 against the 49ers here at Candlestick Park against the Niners. Dallas in the overall meeting between these two teams lead at 8-5, and there's been 1 tie. 49ers having broken a string of 5 straight Cowboy wins in October this year when they beat them soundly 45-14. 3 of those Dallas wins were in playoff competition, and the Niners trying to break out of that trend in which they've been beaten 3 times in playoffs by the Cowboys. Back to punt now, Jim Miller. He's had 1 for 36 yards. He only tried today. Kicking against a possible 10-man rush here for the Cowboys. Kicking from the goal line is Miller. Waiting back is James Jones. Here's the snap and the kick. A high spiral coming down at Jones for a run back at the 47. Fumbles the ball. It's loose. It's being chased. The Niners have it. 49ers have the ball.
Amos Lawrence came up with it. Good hustle downfield as Jones popped it up the minute he caught it. It bounced forward right into the hands of Amos Lawrence, and the 49ers get another chance.
There's a break for the 49ers as Amos Lawrence recovers that fumble by James Jones, the Dallas receiver, and the Niners have the ball at the Dallas 42-yard line. It was popped loose, and Amos Lawrence was on it like a hawk. It's 1st down and 10 to go for the Niners now, the Dallas 42. They can get down to field goal range to tie, but they're not thinking of that now. They want to go in to take the lead. Here goes Clark wide to the right side. Coming out left is Solomon. Cooper sets up as a slot back on the left side. Linville Elliott, the lone running back behind Montana. 49ers on the drive again. Here's Montana back to pass. Good protection this time. Rolls out of the pocket. He's going to run it. He's being chased by Jones. A penalty mark is thrown on the play, and out of bounds rolls Montana after Jones trips him up.
Penalty flag, more than likely it's going to be a hold against the 49ers. Let's go back to that fumble, and let me point out that Amos Lawrence did an excellent job.
Defensive holding.
Defensive holding. 1st down for the Niners. Let me go back and say that Amos Lawrence did an excellent job on that fumble by not trying to pick it up and run with it. He made sure he made that fumble recovery by falling on it.
Sometimes you're just over anxiety when, as you mentioned, you want to run that thing and you're off balance. Somebody hits you and pop it loose again.
Or you never get a hold of it. But he made sure the 49ers got the ball back.
Back to the end of the run, 5 yards, first down.
The holding penalty against the Dallas Cowboys puts the ball at the 35-yard line. And first down, of course, automatically with the defensive holding. It's first and 10 for the Niners now at the 35.
They got all kinds of time, minute 37 and 2 timeouts.
Up the line of scrimmage they come now as Montana's ready. Slots receivers on the left side. The handoff is given to Cooper. Dashes through the middle. Comes outside to the 30. Penalty marker thrown again. As Cooper was hit at the 30 in a gain of 5. Ron Fellows stopped him. We'll see against whom that's going to be called. Holding against the 49ers here could jeopardize their field goal potential. To try to tie it up, that's a clipping penalty against the Niners, and that's going to be costly. That's taking them out of range. At the moment, Ray Wershing would be kicking from about 47 out, and that's taking him outside that. Of course, there's still 1 minute and 31 seconds, and the three-point situation is not in the game plan at the moment. They're trying to get into the end zone. They trail 17-14, the Niners do, and the clock showing 1:31 left to go in the half. But here, 15 yards being marched off against San Francisco, taking the ball clear back to the Dallas 45. They're discussing it down there. Here's the call.
So foul, crackback, 87, 15 yards, still first down.
There's a crackback block called against Dwight Clark that time. So it'll be first down again, but now 20 to go. First and 20 for the Niners, and they're at the Dallas 45-yard line. They line up with Len Villelli at the only running back. Going back to pass, Montana under pressure. The ball's knocked off his hand. It could be a fumble. And it's recovered, we'll see at the 48-yard line, possibly by Dallas, and the Cowboys have it back. Harvey Martin put the rush on and knocked the ball loose.
And it was a great individual effort by Martin. You can't knock that at all. He took an outside rush on Dan Ottick, kept the leverage on. Montana was setting up to throw, had the ball cocked. Martin reached over Ottick, knocked the ball out of his hands, and then got on it. Now there's a minute 24 left, and the Cowboys have 2 timeouts, so this thing's going back and forth like a tennis match here right at the time.
So Martin gives the Dallas Cowboys their 3rd takeaway of that ball today. The Niners have but the one. Lawrence a moment ago, of course, recovering the punt fumble by James Jones. And here's Dallas striking now to increase possibly their 3-point lead. From a shotgun formation is Danny White. First down and 10 to go for Dallas at the Niners 48-yard line. White calling his signals, has the ball, is going back to pass, and plenty of time. Now he's under a rush, he's trapped, gets away, and the whistle is blown, and White is blown stopped at the 45-yard line of Dallas by Jim Stuckey's hold. They're saying the play had been stopped as White did finally break away, but in the grasp of a defender, that official is supposed to blow that whistle, and he did, and Jim Stuckey gets a sack on the play. Let's see if they throw him for a loss, which they did.
Yes,
that was a sack for Jim Stuckey.
And that was the proper call.
So Dallas has the ball instead of at the 48-yard line. They have it back at the 45-yard line now.
Niners with a blitz that last time by Willie Harper, and he got good pressure along with Stuckey.
It'll be second down now and about 17 to go for the Dallas Cowboys, and they're at their own 45. 5 defensive backs into the Niners, 3 wide receivers for Dallas. Going back to pass again is Danny White. Throws a screen, caught by Dorsett, bobbled, and then he doesn't hold it. It's incomplete. Ruled incomplete. As Tony Dorsett couldn't hold it, the ball was recovered. If it were a live one, Keena Turner had it. Had it been called a fumble, but not so, and that'll make it third down. The hit that time put on by Eric Wright. Third down now at about 17. Fans, your Chevron dealer can help unleash your lean machine with Chevron Lean Machine Gasoline. For an efficient, responsive gasoline intake system, change to Chevron, the Lean Machine Gasoline.
Third down now, Don, and about 17 yards to go for the first down. The 49ers can afford to play a little loose, not give up anything deep, and still prevent Dallas from getting the first down.
Jones in for Dorsett now in the backfield for the Cowboys as Danny White operating from the shotgun, takes the direct snap, going back to pass. Good protection. Now under the rush, gets away from Turner, fumbles the ball. It's loose and he recovers the ball at the 32. Danny White gets on it. It was Dwayne Moore who came across to get him after Lawrence Pillars had put the initial rush on. And Dallas is back at their 32, so the fumble recovery does them no good at all, and they're going to have to give up that pigskin on a 4th down with 44 seconds left, and the 49ers stop the clock. And listen to this crowd yelling for the San Francisco defense.
Well, that is some kind of job by that defensive unit that time, putting the pressure on every play on Danny White.
Boy, were they pressuring him. And White will have to punt. Dwight Hicks and Freddie Solomon back to receive. This will be the second timeout for the 49ers. They will have one remaining once they regain possession. They got a 17-14 lead by the Cowboys. They have possession. 4th down, and they have 10, 20, 30 to go. 4th down and 30 to go. And Danny White will go back to punt. He, so far today, has averaged out about 39 yards. He's had one long one, good for 48 yards. Mentioned earlier this afternoon that John Dutton, the only traded Cowboy. The rest all came from original signings. The Cowboys have 9 rookies on their roster this year, 5 from drafting and 4 from free agency. The 49ers do have 5 of their 1981 draftees on the roster. Remember, there's a 6th one, Pete Kugler, who's not on the ballgame today. He, of course, is on injured reserve. So you've got some young fellows playing in first playoff experience here today, but you still have those Dallas veterans who have been through these wars time and time again. And this being their 7th straight playoff. All set is Danny White. Waiting back, all set likewise are Hicks and Solomon from the 32-yard line of scrimmage, waiting for the snap, using up all the time he can. White gets his kick away. Beautiful high spiral, giving plenty of coverage, but Hicks is going to run it back. He got it, goes to 30, goes outside to stop that clock. I trust he got out of bounds. Up to the 37-yard line on the play, and there it'll be 1st down and 10 at the 38-yard line of San Francisco. Benny Barnes made the stop on the run back. Speaking of experience in playoffs, one man today, D.D. Lewis, is breaking the Dallas playoff record for playoff appearances. Remember Larry Cole, the great defensive lineman of the Cowboys? He played in 26 playoff games, and D.D. Lewis, a 13-year veteran at the weak side linebacker spot for Dallas, is playing in his 27th playoff contest. So it is 1st and 10 for the Niners now. They're at their own 37-yard line. They have 34 seconds to get down to within at least field goal range to tie, and beyond that, take a lead. Here goes Montana back to pass. Good protection. He throws. It's caught by Clark at the 42, heading for the sideline. He got out at about the 44-yard line of San Francisco, stopping the clock with 26 seconds remaining. San Francisco has one timeout remaining in this first half of play. It was Everson Walls, the talented cornerback from Grambling, who forced Clark, tried to tackle him inbounds, but couldn't hold him, couldn't detain him from getting outside. Gain of about 8 yards, 2nd down and 2 to go for the Niners now at their own 44-yard line. They're using 3 wide receivers, Wilson joining Clark and Solomon. They're using 1 running back. The remaining back is Earl Cooper. 49ers put their 3 receivers all on the left side. Going back to pass is Montana. He throws down the middle. It's caught by Clark on his knees at the 45 of Dallas for a 1st down and a gain of 12 yards on the play. Anthony Dickerson made the stop. Clock moving with 13 seconds left, and Montana stops it on a timeout with 11 seconds remaining. So the 49ers, let's see, if you want to put Wersching down within well, let's say around 42, 43 yards, you have to be kicking down around the 32-yard line. That means the Niners have to get down to around the 25-yard line, and they are 20 yards removed from that point on the field right now. So they're going to have to go about 20 yards and get out of bounds on the play.
I think there must have been some confusion down there on the 49ers' part at that point, Don. Taking the timeout, they should have taken the timeout immediately after Clark caught the ball and was downed at the 45-yard line. Instead, they let about 6, 7, perhaps 8 seconds run off the clock before they got timeout called. They looked like they were in a hurry-up offense where the line was running back to get to the line of scrimmage, and Montana apparently didn't get the signal, or they didn't have 2 plays called the previous play, so they had to waste a few seconds that time getting that timeout called. None remaining. No timeouts remaining for the 49ers, and there are 11 seconds left. Now, this makes it tough because if you do complete a pass, down into the 30, the 25-yard line, that area, it's going to be very difficult to get the field goal unit on the team, get them lined up, and to have Wershing kick a field goal. So the Niners now are almost faced with a situation where they've got to go ahead and go for it and just try to get it in the end zone.
So here Montana's ready, looking at those wide receivers who are Clark, Solomon, Elliott, and Cooper in there now as running backs. Just two wide receivers in there on a 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. As Montana's ready, looking to the side, throws it over the middle to Solomon, breaks a tackle still on his feet, and he's down at the 29-yard line. But the clock is moving with 5 seconds, and that'll be all. As 2 seconds, 1 second, and there's the gun that ends the first half of play. Montana had lined up and was just ready to try to get a snap away, but the clock was just too much to overcome for the Niners in that one. Dallas, to a degree, likewise in the first half, tough to overcome, and they go off the field. The Cowboys do a 3-point leader. The end of the first half, and the score is Dallas 17, San Francisco 14.
Dwight Clark had 5 catches for 87 yards. Fred Solomon 3 for 35 yards. Charlie Young 3 for 28 yards for the 49ers.
Rayfield Septian will be kicking off for the Dallas Cowboys now. The field completely covered in shadow. The sun beaming across the way on the eastern side of the stadium, and the score 17-14 in favor of Dallas as Septian is set to kick and back to receive Amos Lawrence along with Bill Ring. So the 49ers get possession to start this second half. Remember, the first time they had their hands on the ball in the first half, they scored. Septian waiting for the officials' whistle down there. They're holding things up for just a moment. The Cowboys, they were 5-3 in NFC title action, winning 2 and losing 1 in Dallas, and 3-2 in 5 games played on the road. And of course, on the road here by virtue of San Francisco's having the best record of the National Football League this year. Here's the kick by Septian. It's coming down to Lawrence at the 2-yard line. He comes up behind Ring's block, cuts to the near side up to the 20, cuts back and goes down at the 25-yard line, running it back 23 yards before Robert Newhouse stopped him on the run back for the Dallas Cowboys. 1st and 10 for San Francisco, and they'll start from their own 25-yard line.
A lot of conjecture up here in the press box about the call made on Ronnie Lott, Drew Pearson in the first half, and totally mixed, but I think most of the sentiment up here, 49er people think that it was pretty much of a bad call, Don, but there's still a lot of time left, and let's hope that it doesn't make a difference in this ballgame.
Walt Easley's in the lineup now for the first time as a running back for the Niners, along with Linville Elliott. First time he's been in today. The ball given to Elliott, cuts in behind the block of Cross and gets up to about the 29-yard line and gained about 4, maybe 5 yards before stopped by Mike Hegman, the strong side linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys. It'll be now a second down and call it 5, a gain of 5 on that play for Linville Elliott. Coming out is Easley quickly now, along with Elliott, and going in are Cooper, along with Bill Ring. As Bill Walsh continues to shuttle those running backs, as has been his custom this year. Here goes Dwight Clark wide to the right side. Freddie Solomon, a wingback on the left side. And Montana hands it off to Cooper again. Cooper cuts in through the middle and gets up to about the 32, 3-yard line before he's knocked down. So San Francisco goes to its running game to open up this third quarter. Gaining about 3 yards that time, Bob Brunig stops him. And the Niners have a 3rd and short situation, 3rd and 2 now. 3rd and 2 for San Francisco at the Niners' 33-yard line. The first half they had 6 third downs and turned them into first downs twice, 2 for 6. They go to a double tight end set with a power alignment now. Eason Ramson is in to join Charlie Young as a tight end. They have removed Dwight Clark. 2 running backs lined up in a split. Cooper and Ring in behind Montana. The ball given to Ring. He's cutting over the right side and dives forward. I don't believe he got it, though. He's close. Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's very close. I don't believe he got it. Miller is coming out of the field at any rate. Ring is short by about a half a yard as Guy Brown and Randy White stopped him. So the Niners are forced to give up the ball on a punt in their first possession of this second half, and Jim Miller comes in to kick. James Jones is going back to receive. Last time for Jones, he fumbled the kick, remember, from Miller. Miller lined up. Miller had 2 kicks in the first half, on average 37 yards. That's about 4 under his season average. He's got the ball and gets his kick away. Rather wobbly one. Fair catching is Jones, and fumbles it. He fumbles it at the 35-yard line. You'll see who got it. I believe Dallas got it. As Jones fumbles again. Boy, he's having troubles. His second punt fumble today. Falling it on the 34. Somebody had come back to protect on the block, and whether it was Jones or somebody else, no, it was Jones who recovered that fumble down around the 34-yard line on the play. So there to be first down and 10 to go for Dallas. That kick measures out about 37 yards for Jim Miller. So it doesn't matter what day it is. Remember, anytime you feel like it, just open up a Michelob and put a little weekend in your week. First and 10 now at the 34-yard line of Dallas. Cowboys' first possession of the second half, and they lead the ball game 17-14. Tony Hill comes wide left, and out right is Drew Pearson. Running backs are Springs and Dorsett in a split behind Danny White. White calls signals against a five-man San Francisco front. The handoff given to Dorsett. Cuts in over tackle and gets up to the 39-yard line. He found a hole on the left side of the defense for the Niners. Ronnie Lott made the stop there. They're going to spot the ball up around the 39-yard line, so that's a gain of 5 yards for Dorsett. It'll be second down and 5 to go.
I think the Cowboys are going to be trying to ball control and as I mentioned before the game, keep the 49er offense off the field with running plays and short ball control type passes from Dan White.
Freddie Solomon comes wide the left side, Drew Pearson comes wide the left side, going out right is Tony Hill. Again, the running backs go in an I formation this time. As the ball is given to Dorsett, he is hit at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a yard, but no more. They nabbed him that time. Ronnie Lott and Jim Stuckey closing in on Dorsett as he tried to cut inside a block and got to the 40-yard line. No further gain, a yard only, bringing up third down and 4. And San Francisco sends in its nickel defense. Lynn Thomas comes in. Fred Dean comes in to line up on the right side on a rush.
Now, the 49ers really ate him up right before the end of the first half off the shotgun. If they go into shotgun again here now, I wouldn't be surprised to see Dallas try something off it like a screen or a draw play.
Jay Salty is in as a tight end now in place of Dupree. They go into the shotgun as Danny White lines up for a direct snap on third down and about 4 to go. He's got the ball. He goes back to pass. Under a rush, escapes pillars. After him is Reese. And the pass is thrown incomplete. Grounding, forward. They may call Danny White for an intentional grounding. That's what it's going to be. He had nobody to throw to, and he threw it anyway. As it was Dwayne Board putting on the rush. First John Hardy, and then Board, and they got him back at the 23-yard line on the play. So that gives the Cowboys a little trouble as far as Danny White punting is concerned. They lost about 10 yards on that play. It's back at the 23-yard line where it'll be now a fourth down.
Number 11, ball placed as a spot on the throw, fourth down.
So the Cowboys are forced to kick. Freddie Solomon, Dwight Hicks hoping for a run back here now as Danny White is back to punt. Line of scrimmage will be the 23-yard line. Waiting now for the snap is Danny White. There it is. He's got it and gets his kick away. He's coming down to Hicks. He's got the 38-yard line. Comes to the 40. Comes to the near side. Trying to get some blocking help. Trying to turn the corner. And he's forced out of bounds at the 49-yard line. So he ran it back about 11 yards before Guy Brown forced him out. The Niners have pretty good field position here to start their second drive, almost at midfield. We got a timeout on the field, and with 11:07 left to go in the third period, the score is 17-14 in favor of the Cowboys.
Left here in the third period as the Niners take over here for their second possession of the second half. The ball will be just about at midfield across their 49-yard line and just nosing the midfield stripe. Montana in the huddle now with the offense, and I would imagine that they will come out in this series, Don, and throw the ball a little bit. They didn't have much success running in their first possession.
Well, the conservative to start the third period, and here we go now as Montana's ready from midfield. He has the ball, play action fake, back to pass, throws deep into the corner, on the run but incomplete is Freddie Solomon. As he could not get under that one, Randy White was putting some pressure on Montana.
And he's hurt.
Joe was hit by White. He's up off his knees. Walt Easley talking to him. Easley and Ring are now the running backs in there. When Board got to White to force that intentional grounding, a sack, of course, that was the third for both teams today. San Francisco had a surplus of 7 sacks this year during the season. Dallas had 11. They sacked the opposition 42 times and yielded sacks themselves 31. San Francisco was 29 sacks against and 36-4. Here once again, Montana's ready. Moves Solomon in motion. He hands it off, and a draw through the middle goes Ring. He found a hole. He's past the 45 down to the 40-yard line of Dallas. Cowboys looking pass. They got run, and Michael Downs and Charlie Waters were the men who got him.
The draw play that time.
Worked beautifully.
It's a good job by Randy Cross turning out his man. Larry Bethea to the outside, and Quillen setting up and then going after the middle linebacker. Ring had a big hole.
So now they're going to have to measure to see whether that's first down. We've been told now that Dallas has been sacked 4 times for a minus 47 yards today, and San Francisco the 3, as I mentioned, for a minus 20. They're measuring to see whether this will be a first or third down for San Francisco. It'll be third and inches if it is, and that's what it is. Third and about 6 inches for San Francisco. Bill Ring on the play, gaining about 9.5 yards. So a third down coming for San Francisco, just short of the Dallas 40-yard line. The Niners have had 7 third down plays today. They've had trouble getting that first down, but this should be a little chip shot here, second down and 7. As they break the huddle, come up the line of scrimmage. You got Clark out on the left side, is just lined up almost as a tight end in a power formation. Calling his signals, Montana sneaking for the first down. He got it. He goes about a yard on the play. Joe Montana gets the first down at the Dallas 39-yard line. Larry Bethea and Bob Bruning tried to close it up, but Montana was there too quickly and got the yard they needed. Buy Farmers Insurance, that's FIG. In Belmont, call Robert Wiseman, and in East Palo Alto, Deborah Clover. See your fast, fair, friendly Farmers agent soon. The Niners at the Dallas 39-yard line, trailing 17-14. We played about 4.5 minutes, to be exact, 4 minutes and 10 seconds of the third quarter. Elliott's in with Cooper now as running backs are split. As again, Montana's going back to pass. Good protection. Down the middle he goes. Now throws. It is incomplete. Almost picked off by Everson Walls.
Flag down.
Flag has been thrown on the play back at the line of scrimmage. We're back at the point where Montana was throwing his pass. It's against the Niners. The rush put on by Ed Jones and Randy White were both pressuring Montana that time as he stepped up to counter that flow of the rush. And now discussing the penalty, they're going to march off some yardage against the 49ers, 10 yards. We assume the holding. Here's a call.
Illegal push in the back, number 68, 10 yards, still first down.
No, that was an illegal block on the part of John Ayers, costing them 10 yards, taking it back almost to midfield of the Dallas 49-yard line, where it is now first down again and 20 to go. San Francisco's 5th penalty of the day for 73 yards, and that, of course, bothered them against the Giants last week. Ron Fellows and Benny Barnes in his 6 defensive backs. Rush put on Montana, avoids it, throws his pass, caught by Charlie Young at the 35 of Dallas, and he's down to the 33-yard line. Harvey Martin put a rush on, put the pressure on Montana. He escaped it. Anthony Dickerson stopping Young after the catch at the 33, and that's a gain of 17 yards, and makes his second down, about 4 to go for the Niners.
Martin pressured Montana up out of the pocket, and just as he released, Wayne Bethea hit him, or Larry Bethea rather. Another great job by Montana throwing on the run and basically improvising back there in the pocket. He's been sensational today.
Second down and 4 to go, a gain of 16 on that play. Second and 4 for the Niners. They're at the Dallas 33-yard line. San Francisco 14, Dallas 17. Clock 9 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the third period. Here's Montana ready, takes the snap, throws a pass, caught by Cooper at the 30. He's out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Cooper's got a first down for San Francisco at the Dallas 27. Charlie Waters forced him out. The crowd yells, "Coop."
Almost got a little bit more on that as Cooper came out right away and ran a flat pattern. Charlie Waters was supposed to cover him. He turned to go with Earl and then slipped on the turf, but got up and recovered pretty well.
Here's San Francisco now, moving down into striking distance of regaining the lead here. They led 14-10 before that questionable call gave Dallas an offensive drive at the San Francisco 12-yard line. Tony Dorsett running it in to take the lead. San Francisco thinks that was robbery, and they're trying to get back on the front end of that score now. Here's the ball to Linville Elliott, and a handoff. Escapes a Cowboy, and then falls forward to the 23, and a nice move by Bill Ring that time. After he was hemmed in, had to force an earlier cut than he wanted, but used it to get down the 23-yard line, gained about 4 yards before Dennis Thurman, the ex-USC Trojan, got him at the 23 after a gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Harvey Martin had good penetration that time. Elliott had nowhere to go, ducked up inside, and then fought hard for that 4 yards.
2nd down and 7 now. Dennis Thurman, I mentioned, from the USC Trojans, who picked off 2 passes last week against Tampa Bay. All set once again. In motion goes Solomon. Here's Montana with the ball. On a cross buck goes Cooper through the middle, past the 20, gets down to the 17-yard line. Gains almost 7 yards on the play. Randy White stops him, and it's going to be a first down, I believe, for the Niners. They appear to have a first down. It is first down at the 17-yard line of the Cowboys.
Cooper made a great adjustment that time right after the handoff. Play was designed, I think, to be run over the right guard, and he made an adjustment, cut it back through the left.
First down and 10 to go at the 17-yard line as the Niners break their huddle. Solomon coming off the field now, replaced by Mike Wilson. Dwight Clark is out left, Wilson out right. Running backs are Elliott along with Cooper. And again, here's Montana ready, backpedaling into the pocket, being rushed, throws his pass. It is intercepted. It's intercepted by the Cowboys. Randy White on a deflection off the hands of Linville Elliott, and the Cowboys take it over at their 13-yard line. D.D. Lewis was putting the pressure on Montana. He threw it quickly. It was okay to Linville Elliott, but he could not hold it. It bounced off his hands and was intercepted then by Randy White. We got a timeout call on the field here with 7:40 to go in the third period, and the score is 17-14 in favor of Dallas. Once again, before Dallas puts the ball in play, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification, this being the San Francisco 49er Radio Network.
Here on KCBS, you expect our great tradition of news. Well, now we're your #1 sports station in Northern California, KCBS, San Francisco.
Away, we have a note from the dressing room down there regarding the officials. They know they have a hot play on their hands on that call against Lawton. They have tried to make it official, and we'll, let's see, we do have time. You've got the story there. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. That Dean Look, who was the side judge who made that call, said, and this is typed up and sent to us from the National Football League, who was running the press box, that Look ruled that while the 2 players are running downfield, the defender Lott bumped the receiver, Drew Pearson, then cut off Pearson's pass before Lott caught the ball.
It did not show anything of that nature, of course, on the replay at the point of contact, where that is where the interception was made. And if it was upfield, of course, that was something else that was not clearly seen on TV, and Dean Look saw it. Here's a play-action fake by White. He's throwing a pass. It's caught and then dropped by Spring. He had it on his hands, couldn't hold it. Covered by Carlton Williamson on the play. Ron Springs coming out of the backfield. So it's incomplete. That'll make it 2nd and 10 for Dallas at the 13. And one of the things you did not expect to see today is occurring here at Candlestick Park. The San Francisco 49ers, the best turnover club in the league. They had a surplus during the season of 23. Dallas with 18 was second in that regard. They are both opportunistic when they get the chance, and Dallas has had the opportunities today. That was the 4th turnover yielded by San Francisco this afternoon. Dallas has given up the ball on a fumble once. So they have a 3 surplus in this ball game. We mentioned before the game began, mistakes can cost one team or the other, and Dallas is getting that edge today. Here's White back to pass again, being rushed, escapes the first one. Dean after him throws a pass. It's intercepted by Bobby Leopold. Leopold intercepted. San Francisco's ball. A deflected pass off the hands of Ron Springs. It was Fred Dean putting the rush on first, along with Dwayne Board, then Fred Dean. They put White under pressure. White threw the pass. It was off the hands of Springs, and Bobby Leopold intercepts for San Francisco.
Dwayne Board had a hand on White back in the pocket. He stepped up, got away from him. Dean put more pressure on, had a hold of him. He threw the ball, deflected right into the hands of Bobby Leopold. The 49ers have it now on the 13-yard line, 1st and 10.
So now it's San Francisco with a break. Now the question, can they capitalize on it? Can they burn the Cowboys with a turnover? Here is Montana ready from the 13-yard line of Dallas, trying to put them ahead. The handoff to Ring. Ring breaks a tackle, goes past the 10. He's down to the 7-yard line as Ring gains 5 yards of the play. Michael Downs pulled him down, and it'll be second down inside the 10 for San Francisco. Dan Audick opened up a big hole. Walt Easley threw a key block on the play, and Ring ends up at the Dallas 7.
The Niners need to get to the 3-yard line and pick up another first down.
They can get it inside the 3-yard line. It'll be second down, a gain of 6 on that one. Second down and 4 is Ring running with all the talent and the heart at his command on that one. And here's Montana up the line of scrimmage again now with Clark to the right side, Solomon out the left. As Montana has it, pitches the ball back to Easley this time. Easley cuts in and gets down to about the 4-yard line. He's short of a first down by about a yard. He gains about 3 yards on the play before Mike Hegman, the outside linebacker, on the left side for Dallas, stopped him just short of the 4 to be exact. At this point of the field, you have to be, and it is at the 4.5-yard line. Third down, a little more than a yard to go. San Francisco trying to keep a drive alive inside the 3. They want to go for 7. They don't want to settle for 3. Here they come up the line of scrimmage as Clark goes to a short wing left. Coming out right, a short wing back right is Solomon. The running backs are in the eye, and Joe Montana is going to call for a timeout.
No, it was Bob Brunig who called it. Don Arizzi called it. The Cowboys were sending in defensive replacements. They didn't get on the field in time, and Brunig didn't want to have any mix-up on defense, so he took the timeout.
So Dallas uses up a timeout here, and we'll use it for 60 seconds of break. 6 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the third quarter, and the score is Dallas 17 and San Francisco 14.
The line of scrimmage is at the 5. The Niners need about a yard and 2 feet for the first down on third down.
As Montana's ready now, he has Solomon out the right side. Here's a big play for you. The handoff is given to Ring. He breaks through on the right side, and I believe he got it. I believe he got it at the 3-yard line. As Ring, it's going to be very close. He was hit around the shoulder, bounced off that first tackle, and was downed by Steve Wilson and Charlie Waters in the goal line defense of the Dallas Cowboys, and they may have to measure for it.
He got it with second effort because he was hit just about at the line of scrimmage and then surged forward.
And the question will be, of course, even if it's fourth down, they are so close to a first down, whether Bill Walsh would question the continuation to go into the end zone or go for the field goal. We'll wait and see. Let's get the measurement first. It appeared maybe that it might be short by about a half a foot. It is about 6 or 8 inches. Montana pointing toward the bench, showing Bill Walsh that it's about 8 inches. The crowd is yelling, go. It's fourth down for the Niners, facing the Dallas Cowboys goal line defense here. Ray Wershing stays on the sideline. The Niners are going for the 6 inches and the first down. If they get it, they have 4 more downs. So fasten your seatbelts now. We've got turbulence and plenty of it here at Candlestick Park now as the Niners trailing by 3 points with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Here could be a turning point of this ball game, although there are still about 21 minutes to play in it. This is the kind of play that can turn it one way or the other. Here's Montana bringing the Niners up the line of scrimmage. Fourth down, 6 inches to go. He's got it, he sneaks, and I believe he got it. I believe he got a first down. A penalty marker's been thrown. A penalty marker thrown rather late. And it appears offside is motion. We'll see against whom. Otherwise, San Francisco has a first down, or they would have a 4th and 5. I believe the penalty is against Dallas. I believe it is against Dallas. It is against Dallas. And it's first down for the Niners. Joe Montana sneaked. Instead of the 6 inches, he got about a yard and a half, but the penalty, of course, moves the ball further, half the distance to goal line.
Offside, defense.
First down.
But penalty or not, let's look at the play itself, and that was Joe Montana who got the first down. That's on the record before the penalty was called.
They're a yard and a half now from the end zone.
Yard and a half to go for San Francisco to regain the lead, which they held at 14-10. Dallas taking over 17-14, and the Niners trying to regain the upper hand. Here's Montana calling the signals now. Has the ball, hands it off to Johnny Davis. He lowers his head, he punches into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers. to 17, and Ray Wersching will try to put them 4 points ahead. With 5 minutes and 45 seconds left to be played, the Niners capping off quickly that 13-yard drive after the interception by Bobby Leopold. Ray Wersching will kick. Joe Montana will hold. Randy Cross will snap it back. Waiting, the ball placed down, kicked. It's on its way and good. And 49ers have a 4-point lead. Timeout on the field with 5:44 left to go in the third period. And the score now, San Francisco 21 and Dallas 17.
They were big and fast and hadn't lost a touch football game in 2 years. Then right before the kickoff, they suggested Michelob Light for the winners, to which you replied, "You guys would do that for us?"
It's Michelob Light. There's nothing quite like that rich, smooth taste of Michelob Light. It's Michelob Light, Michelob Light, Michelob Light, Michelob Light. When you're a winner, it's got to be right, Michelob Light.
Your team did it. You battled them right down to that last and longest yard. For pride? Well, maybe, but mostly for the rich, smooth taste of Michelob Light. Here's to the winners.
Michelob Light, compare the taste to any beer you like.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Well, Johnny Davis on his first carry of the afternoon busts over from 1.5 yards out to give the 49ers, along with Ray Wersching's extra point, a 21-17 lead over Dallas with 5 minutes and 44 seconds remaining here in the third period. A Dallas player was injured on the field on that last play. They're helping him off right now. It was Michael Downs, the free safety, a very important part of that Dallas defense. He is the second leading tackler on that Dallas squad. Don, the Niners kicking off now to the Cowboys, and keep in mind that Tom Landry and the Cowboys like to fool you a little bit. We haven't seen very many screens, those sorts of things from the Cowboys. They usually come up with a trick play or two for a big game like this. We haven't seen one of those yet. So on this possession, we may see the Cowboys pull out all the stops.
And Wayne, down below, we now note that Guy Benjamin is warming up for San Francisco. They are talking, they are working with Joe Montana down below as if he's been hurt. Here's the kick. It's bounding toward the sideline and will go out of bounds. Off the bench comes Guy Benjamin, and he is warming up while the trainers and Dr. Jim Clint is down there talking with Joe Montana, who is seated on the San Francisco bench. We don't know what happened in that last handoff to Johnny Davis. But Joe Montana, at any rate, is being helped by the doctors. Ray Wersching will kick off now from the 30-yard line. Oh, brother.
Well, I saw Montana after he signaled touchdown by Davis, all of a sudden drop his hands down very suddenly and kind of make a motion like me, you know, like get me out of here. But I think he stayed in and held for the extra point. I didn't really pay that much attention. He's the holder. But right after the touchdown, he signaled touchdown himself. And, you know, wouldn't that be ironic? Wouldn't that be awful? That the signal touchdown may have pulled a muscle or something.
And he's been quarterback sneaking at key moments and getting some of the brunt of the attack defensively himself, and then to come up there. At any rate, he did hold on that driver point.
We'll get word, and as soon as we can, we'll pass it on to you.
Fred Bailing and Jim Clint are both talking with him down there. And here's Wersching ready to kick off now from the 30-yard line. James Jones back to receive for the Dallas Cowboys. Here's the kick by Wersching on its way, a low one, a floater. Jones goes over, catches it at the 13, comes the 20, up the middle, get a block at the 30, and down he goes at the 31-yard line, running it back 18 yards on the play before Milt McCall knocked him down. Oh, you reflect back on that interception by Bobby Leopold, a defensive turnaround for San Francisco at that point. And now Dallas has the ball back again. That was the second turnover yielded by Dallas today. The Niners have given up the ball 4 times in that regard. And it is those mistakes, those turnovers that are swinging the tide of this action back and forth on the field below this afternoon. Montana is now getting up at the sideline. Let's see, where has he gone? He's going over the side now. He's holding as if somebody... Well, here we go. Here's Danny White ready. The handoff is given this time to Dorsett, and he's nailed at the 33-yard line. I believe Walt Downing came up to Joe Montana, and we have to guess that he asked, what is it? What's wrong? And Joe was pointing to his chest as if he got hit in the chest down there. And, of course, that would bother his throwing if it is anything severe of that nature. At any rate, Dallas is on the attack again after gaining 2. The tackle made by Reynolds and Pookie on Dorsett. And it's second down and 8 to go now at the 33-yard line of Dallas.
Well, we got word that it was just a wind problem. He got the wind knocked out of him.
Well, we hope that's what it is. Guy Benjamin, at any rate, is now going back and getting his warm-up jacket. Dupree and Salty are tight ends in there for Dallas now. Lone remaining back is Tony Dorsett. And again, Danny White sets his line, pitches to Dorsett, coming over the left side, and he's hit at the 35 and thrown back to the 32-yard line. Jack Reynolds led the defensive attack that time on Tony Dorsett. He started to find a hole. It was snapped shut in his face, and he was hit back to the 32-yard line.
They didn't get an inch from Willie Harper that time either over there on that toss.
They took it up the 35-yard line. He was thrown back after hit at the 35, so they give him that one extra yard and make it third down, 5.5 to go. Dorsett is out now. James Jones has come back in. Butch Johnson along with Tony Hill, along with Drew Pearson, triple wide receivers for the Dallas Cowboys. Pearson comes wide the left side. Going out right is Tony Hill. Setting up as a slot is Butch Johnson. Running backs are Jones. And going back on a shotgun is Danny White. 5 defensive backs. The pass thrown, caught that time by Jones out of the backfield for a first down. Up to the 45-yard line of the Cowboys. A first down on the play, and that'll make it 1st and 10 at the 45 for Dallas. Bobby Leopold stopped that play just as James Jones caught it. He was hit by Leopold.
Jones came out of the backfield that time, ran a circle pattern over the middle. Leopold was on him and in good shape. It was just a good throw and a catch.
Be 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line of Dallas, having started this possession on the kick on the run back at their 30-yard line. Danny White ready, operating in a normal T formation now, splitting his running backs who are Dorsett and Springs. They go into an I. Dorsett, the tailback. Springs, the lead man, the blocker. The ball given to Snyder Dorsett. Dashes through the middle, gets past the 50, and gets down to the Niners' 48-yard line. In a quick 7-yard gainer that time for Tony Dorsett. Tony, at his best in playoff competition, he is the second all-time NFL playoff rusher with 909 yards in 11 games coming into this one today. Only one man has gained more, and he would be Franco Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have played in 17 games and gained almost 1,500 yards.
Dorsett has 60 yards so far today on 13 carries.
Second down now, 3.5 to go. Dupree and Cosby are tight ends in a power play alignment for the Cowboys. The backs are in an I. Dorsett in the tail again. The ball is given to Springs, the lead man, and he gets away from one, an arm tackle, and then gets down to the 45-yard line, is close to a first down. He may have it. The tackle made by Carlton Williamson. That will be a gain of about 3.5 yards. It is first down for Dallas at the San Francisco 45. Say, looking to make your banking more convenient, look into the nearest Bank of America. Whatever your checking or savings needs, you'll find Bank of America offering a variety of money conveniences designed to make your banking easier.
Now they got the 49ers think and run here. They may pull something like I called before, like a trick play, like a flea flicker or something. You've always got to be careful with that with the Cowboys.
That was Eric Wright instead of Carl Williamson making that last stop. And here we go again as White is ready from the 45-yard line of San Francisco on a 1st and 10. In motion, Drew Pearson coming right to left. There's the play-action fake by White. A man open. The ball caught by Springs, and he's hit immediately. Coming up was Ronnie Lott and nailed him down low around the knees around the 41-yard line on a gain of 4 yards. Well, if Lott gets a clean shot at you like that, you do not escape. He takes no prisoners. He got him at the 41-yard line and really hit that time. Ronnie Lott did on Ron Springs.
Yeah, that he really secured that tackle that time. That was one of those misdirection type plays the Cowboys like, bootleg action with White rolling to the right and trying to get the defense going one way and hit it against the grain. Break one tackle for a big gainer, but Lott closed it off.
2nd and 6 now for the Cowboys, moving ever closer into San Francisco territory to the 41-yard line now. They trail San Francisco ahead 21-17. 1 minute to go, third period. And again, White is ready. He has the ball, gets it to Dorsett. He drives the middle, doesn't get very far, though. He stopped at the 40-yard line. He's hit by Willie Harper. Willie Harper nailed him at the 40-yard line, a gain of about a yard on the play, as Dorsett is stopped cold that time. Number 1 career rusher with the Dallas Cowboys. He passed up an old-time Cowboy favorite, Don Perkins, this year by gaining 1,646 yards. Second, though, to George Rogers, of course, the rookie ace for New Orleans in the NFL figures. And he got only a yard that time. 3rd and 5 to go now. Dorsett going to the sidelines. They've gone to 3 wide receivers, Johnson, Pearson, and Hill. Springs alone remaining back. In a shotgun formation, it's Danny White. San Francisco counters with Lynn Thomas as the fifth defensive back. Here goes White back to pass again. He throws a long one, 35 yards down to the 15, and it is incomplete. A flag has been thrown.
Yes, that's a face guard call on Ronnie Lott. There's no question about that.
Ronnie Lott called for interference on that one. There was contact there. And if so, the Cowboys are in scoring position at the 12-yard line of San Francisco. Now that one stills down this crowd. There is no room to debate that one, as you indicate.
Pass interference, defense, number 42, foul, first down.
So the second interference pass call of the day. The first one certainly doubtful, but that one whistled against Lott, and it's at the 12-yard line, and Dallas is in business now trying to regain the lead.
7 penalties, 106 yards for the 49ers. That's a ton.
Up the line of scrimmage comes Dallas. All the more pressure now on the Niners defense in the closing 11 seconds of the third period. As Danny White is ready, has the ball, gives it off to Dorsett. He drives but doesn't go. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage. As he tried to find a hole, Archie Reese closed it on him. Dorsett goes down and might have lost a yard. He may have got back the line of scrimmage, but I don't believe any further. They're going to spot it at the 12. No gain, no loss. Second down and 10 to go as time runs out, ending the third period here at Candlestick Park. The end of the third quarter with a score. San Francisco 21, Dallas 17. When you were talking about the tight ends, Dallas has gone to a trio of them now. Dupree, Cosby, and Salty are all in there. They have taken out Drew Pearson and Tony Hill. They go with two running backs, Springs and Dorsett and Ernai. Power alignment, 3rd and 3. There's a big play at the 5-yard line of San Francisco. As White moves Salty in motion, has the ball fake off now, going back to pass it, or a rush, escapes it. He's going to throw his pass. It is blocked in. Eric Wright knocks it down. Eric Wright knocks it down as Doug Cosby was the intended receiver. Boy, I don't know. White had a clean lane to run to the left.
Yes,
he elected to do so, and I don't know.
He rolled to the right, was in trouble off play action. Nothing was there. He came back to the left, and had he decided to run, I think he could have walked into the end zone. Then he tried to fit it in there, and Eric Wright made the play.
Boy, Wright made a big one, and that forces Septien onto the field. Raphael Septien is coming in to kick a three-pointer, which would leave Dallas a point short. Holding the ball is Waters. That rush was put on that time by Jim Stuckey, forcing White out of the pocket, and he could have run it in. All set now. Waters holding. They're kicking from the 13. 23-yard effort for Raphael Septien. Easily within his range and no problem from this distance all year. He kicks it on its way, and that one is an easy three-pointer for the Dallas Cowboys. So that closes it down to 21-20 with 14 minutes and 8 seconds left to be played in this game. So United brings you the most wide bodies of the East, more than any other airline. So call United or your travel agent and fly the friendly skies. Dallas started that drive, remember, from their own 30-yard line. They took it down to the San Francisco 5, where the Niners defense held after a 65-yard drive, and then Septien kicks the 23-yard field goal. So now the Cowboys have had 34 and 23-yard field goals from Raphael Septien, plus their 2 touchdowns for 20 points. The Niners have gone downfield on drives of 63, 47, and a moment ago 13 yards to cap them off with 3 touchdowns to lead 21-20. Raphael Septien will be kicking off from the 35-yard line and back to receive Bill Ring and Amos Lawrence. San Francisco ahead by a point. Well, how they love to get that ball and use up some time-consuming on a time-consuming march here to take an 8-point lead. Question we'll have to wait to see to answer this one, whether Joe Montana will be back on, and we have to suspect he will. He got a good chance to rest during that last drive from being evidently possibly wind knocked out of him or bruised in the chest. Here's Raphael Septien ready. Coming forward, and here's Septien kicks it away. A high end over ender coming down to the 1-yard line, where it's taken there by Amos Lawrence up to the 10, the 15, up to the 19-yard line. He runs it back about 18 yards, just short of the 20-yard line, Lawrence, and it's first down and 10 to go. His run back was stopped that time by Benny Barnes, along with Robert Newhouse. And San Francisco has the ball about 81 yards away from that Dallas goal line as they start their fourth possession of the second half. The previous three, they punted once, they were intercepted once, and then, of course, after the interception on their behalf of Bobby Leopold, Johnny Davis capped off a 13-yard drive with a 1.5-yard plunge to put the Niners ahead. Up the line of scrimmage they come now. Joe Montana is in there, all set. Lenville Elliott in motion out of the right. Montana going back to pass. Cocks his arm, throws a long one down here to Wilson, to Schumann, and it is incomplete. Mike Schumann, the intended receiver. Montana answers any question there, whether he can throw that ball long, whatever his injury was temporarily a moment ago. Covering him, Dennis Thurman on the play against the reception by Mike Schumann. So that'll make it now 2nd and 10 for the 19-yard line. I was about to mention earlier that Dallas was trying to take the lead. Had they gone ahead, it would have been the 5th change of leadership in this ball game. Check these. San Francisco went ahead 7-0. Dallas eventually had 10-7. 49ers regained the upper hand, 14-10. Dallas went ahead 17-14, and the Niners back on top, 21-17. Once again, here's Montana ready. Play action fake to Lenville Elliott. Now throwing a pass. Open down here is Solomon. Got it at the 35 and comes out of bounds at the 40. And San Francisco has a first down on a 21-yard gainer. First down at the 40-yard line as Solomon, along with Clark, overflooded the near side and the left side, and Montana hit the advance man, Solomon, as Everson Walls ran him out.
Well, they actually almost used each other to pick like a basketball play that time. They started downfield very close to each other, about 2 or 3 yards apart. Clark went to the inside, Solomon went out, and Montana had it on the money.
San Francisco now at the Niners' 40-yard line. We're in his 1st and 10. They line up in an I formation. Elliott and Easley, the running backs. Ball's given to Elliott. He loses footing but regains his balance and is hit up at the 44-yard line. Just a little slippage there for Elliott, but he kept his pace going and got 4 yards before Bob Brunig, the middle linebacker with Michael Downs, made the stop. Michael Downs, another Dallas high school product, who didn't actually play college football at Rice until his senior year, but he's a key member of that secondary. Michael Downs, one of the rookies, signed as a free agent to join Everson Walls along with Charlie Waters, the all-time veteran of the Dallas Cowboys secondary, and Dennis Thurman. And it's 2nd down now and 6 to go. They come up the line of scrimmage in an I formation, the Niners are. The ball is given to the lead man, and through the middle, that time goes Walt Easley, and he fumbles the ball. He fumbles at the 50-yard line, and I believe Dallas has recovered. There's another turnover against the 49ers. Bob Brunig falls on that ball. Let's see, it was Walls who recovered it. Brunig made the hit that popped the ball loose from Walt Easley, and it'll be a first down for Dallas, and it's at the 50-yard line.
5th turnover, 3rd fumble, 2 interceptions for the 49ers. Easley on his 2nd effort driving, and people coming in and stripping the ball. Out it went.
Timeout on the field, and with 5th, 12:57 to go in the game now, the score is 21-20 in favor of San Francisco.
12 minutes, 57 seconds left in the ball game as the 49ers protect a 1-point lead. Dallas on the turnover will take over with the ball just at the 50-yard line, not quite at the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 they will be. And down, I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, sort of, with the Dallas Cowboys. They keep talking about those trick plays, you know, reverses, passes off reverses, flea flicker. They've got a ton of them. We haven't seen one. They may come back after this turnover and try to air it out.
They sometimes will do that, of course, trying to catch the opposition after that frustration of a turnover, then catch them a little bit down. Here's White handing it off to Dorsett. He's running the ball through a hole past the 45 and down to the 42-yard line, then falls forward to the 40 after getting away for a moment from Craig Tukey. That would be a gain of 11 yards on the play and a first down for Dallas at the 39-yard line. Somebody heard on the play of 49ers down. That may be Lawrence Pillars.
Yes, it is. And it looks like it could be a knee problem as Dorsett worked for the first down off a double wing formation. The first time we've seen that set up today from the Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys now, remember, are within takeover range of the lead here with a field goal. They trailed by just the point after Raphael Septien put them back within 1 point at 21-20 a few moments ago. Say, why is Chevy Citation the best-selling 1981 front-wheel drive in America? That's because it's room for 5, because of its over 40 cubic feet of cargo room, because of its hidden storage space. That's Chevy Citation. Still working on Lawrence Pillars down there, injured on the last play. It'll be Dallas's ball at the 40-yard line of San Francisco. First down and 10 to go. Niners guilty of 5 turnovers today, something you could not anticipate. The Dallas Cowboys have coughed up the ball twice. Niners have fumbled it away 3 times, and Joe Montana's been intercepted twice.
Dorsett obviously finding the turf down there to his liking this afternoon. That was his 16th carry of the day, and he's gained 73 yards.
Billers is now trotting off and appears to be okay after being helped initially to his feet, and he comes over to the sideline. Play to be resumed, and Dallas has the ball at the 40-yard line. San Francisco resetting its defense. They've got their normal 3-man front in there with the 4 linebackers. Leopold is in for Willie Harper on the outside. Up the line of scrimmage comes Dallas. They have Drew Pearson. No, Harper's back in now. Drew Pearson right, and Tony Hill's out left. Danny White ready from the 40-yard line. San Francisco needing a big defensive play here to brunt the attack of the Dallas Cowboys, who are on the move to try to regain a lead. Here goes White going back to pass. Throws it. It's caught by Springs out of the backfield. He's hit first by Harper and helped along, and pulling him down the 28-yard line, Ronnie Lott came up to help. But there's a gain of 12 more yards on that one. First down and 10 for Dallas. They're at the 27, so make it a gain of 13 yards on the play.
Getting the zone defense from the 49ers that time, and Springs came out of the backfield and ran right up the seam in between the zone, and White threw a perfect pass to him.
First and 10 to go now at the 27-yard line of San Francisco. 11 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the game. The Niners have gone to their 4-man front. Fred Dean comes in. They have removed Pookie, leaving Leopold, Reynolds, and Harper as the linebackers. Here again, the pitch goes to Dorsett. He goes behind the block of Springs and gets down to the 22-yard line. Gains 5 yards before Dwight Hicks got him at the 22.
Oh, he can really accelerate. He almost busted that one. That was a good pursuit that time by Hicks from the free safety spot. Come all the way across the formation, or Dorsett might have hit the sideline and been gone.
He had 9 100-yard efforts this year, and becoming the first man in pro football history to gain more than 1,000 yards in 5 seasons. Up to the line of scrimmage come the Cowboys now, as Drew Pearson comes wide right, and Tony Hill is out left. White looks around to set his backs in an eye, now breaks them apart and splits them. Dorsett left and Springs right. Moves Pearson in motion. The ball faked off to Dorsett. White going back to pass. Throws it down the middle, and it is caught and into the end zone for a touchdown is Cosby.
The trick play we were talking about.
There it is at the tight end. Cosby, the tight end, took the pass at the goal line, moves it in for the score on a 21-yard scoring pass, and Dallas has regained the lead. Changing the upper hand on that scoreboard for the 5th time today.
Yes, he faked play action, went on the bootleg, pulled up, and went right to Cosby, who was running a straight pattern right towards the goal line, down through the zones. He had the ball right on the money.
So Raphael Septien is in to kick the conversion. Dallas ahead 26-21, trying to give them that 6-point lead. Septien is ready. Waters is holding. Waiting for the snap. Septien has not missed. He's kicked 40 for 40 during the regular season. Waiting, the ball placed down, kicked, and that one is good. And Dallas has his 27th point. We got a timeout on the field here at Candlestick. The clock showing 10:41 left to go in the game. And the score, Dallas 27, San Francisco 21.
10:41, plenty of time left in this one. The Cowboys, after a Walt Easley fumble, go 50 yards in 4 plays. Danny White, 21 yards on the scoring touchdown pass to Doug Cosby, 27-21 Dallas. As I mentioned, 10:41 left. Plenty of time still for the 49ers. They don't have to come out of their game plan at all. Get possession here after the kickoff, and they can continue to do what they've been successful with throughout the game. So it's not panic time yet.
Raphael Septien is ready to kick off, and Amos Lawrence and Bill Ring station themselves at the San Francisco goal line as the Niners anxious to get that ball in their command once again to regain a lead. Coming forward now is Septien and gets his kick away. End over ender, high. Coming down to the goal line, taken by Bill Ring at the 1-yard line, up to the 10, up to the 17 before he's upended. Hit and thrown head over heels by Robert Newhouse, coming in low under him. And it'll be 1st and 10 to go for San Francisco at its own 17-yard line.
Got to give credit where credit is due. Newhouse, a veteran going down in those kickoff teams, and He came down full speed, cracked the wedge, and hit ring in behind it. An excellent play by the reserve running back. For many years, a starter on this Dallas team.
And now for the third time, the Niners, faced with a deficit, are trying to regain the lead themselves. Dallas has come off the lower end of the scoreboard 3 times today already. A seesaw affair. And has yet to see which team will be going on to face Cincinnati in the Super Bowl 2 weeks from today. Here's Montana going back to pass. He throws it over the right to Cooper. He got and then dropped it. Couldn't hold it. Oh, he had it in his hands and it fell off. Bob Brunig was defending against it. The pass was beautifully thrown by Montana, and Cooper, usually sure-handed, just couldn't hold it.
Well, Bruning had a lot to do with that. He may have gotten a finger on it. If he didn't deflect it, he may have touched it. He could feel the wind go by. He was right there in pretty good shape. It took a perfect pass by Montana to get there as Cooper ran a cutout about 15 yards deep towards the sideline. Excellent job by the middle linebacker, and if he didn't touch the ball, it bothered Cooper having him there.
And a 2nd down and 10 to go now. Ring sets up the slot back on the left side. Clark wide. Cooper, the lone remaining back. Solomon is a widespread right. Going back to pass again, Montana chased out of the pocket, has to stop, come back, and throwing over to Clark on the near side. Got the 25 up to 30, first down, and he's up to the 34-yard line. Great recovery there. There's Montana at his best. He was flushed out to his right. He looked to the right, where he had a couple of receivers well covered. Quickly glancing to the left, found Clark open, throwing to him, and Ron Fellows ran him out. 1st and 10, 35-yard line.
Well, he's really something when he does that. He makes something out of nothing in those situations. Clark went down, knew Montana was in trouble, and then kind of filtered away from the defenders, got the ball on the sideline, picked up the first down.
Montana brings the Niners up the line of scrimmage now at the 35-yard line. He has the running back split behind him. He's going back to pass again. Good protection. Plenty of time. He's throwing 140 yards downfield on the far side, and it might have been intercepted by Walls. It is. It's picked off by Everson Walls.
Great play.
Walls went up high in the air, took it away from Freddie Solomon, and the 49ers have yielded their 6th turnover of the afternoon.
Just a great play by that rookie cornerback.
He's something.
He has led the league in interceptions all year long and made a couple out here this afternoon, almost the same variety. He was down there step for step with Solomon as Freddie tried to get him to bite on a sideline pattern at about 10 yards, and Wall stayed right with him down the sideline and leaped up and took the ball away for the interception. So the Cowboys now have 1st and 10 on their own 27-yard line. 10 minutes, 7 seconds left in the ball game. The Cowboys lead by 6. Now, if they march down, we have timeout. You want to take a break?
No, it's whole.
Okay, so if the Cowboys, this is an important possession now, an important defensive effort right here coming up by the 49ers. If the Cowboys go down and get a field goal, just put 3 points up on the board, then the 49ers need more than a touchdown to win the ball game. So it's going to be tough for the defense. They're going to have to take the ball away from Dallas, force them to punt so they can stay in this ball game.
Dallas will have the ball at the 27-yard line of the Cowboys. They're ahead 31-27. As Wayne mentions, plenty of time yet. But, of course, that puts some more added pressure on the 49er defense in the turnover, which, as I mentioned, was the 6th of the afternoon. Montana has now been intercepted 4 times today. Bear in mind, he came into this ball game, as far as interceptions were concerned, with only 13. He was 2nd in the league to Cincinnati in interception percentage. That is, in the amount of passes thrown, how many times you intercepted. Only Ken Anderson had a better mark than Joe Montana during the regular season. For those 13. 3 interceptions, I believe I said 4. He's had 3 today. 2 by Everson Walls, and the other by Randy White on that deflection. 49ers have given up the ball 3 times on the fumbles. Up the line of scrimmage now come the Dallas Cowboys, which is their 27, the line of scrimmage. Dupree and Salty are double tight ends in there. Slot back formation right for the receivers. Pitch back to Dorsett. Dorsett avoids one tackler, and down he goes in the grasp of another. Willie Harper came up to follow up and got him. Jack Reynolds went flying by him, tried to get Dorsett, missed him.
Good instinctive move, though, by Hacksaw from his inside linebacker spot. The minute the ball was snapped, I believe he knew what it was, and he cut in behind a pulling guard and got good penetration and created a foul up in that play.
2nd and 10 to go for Dallas at the line of scrimmage at the 27. 2nd and 10. No gain, no loss for Dorsett on that one. He lines up in an I formation, Dorsett now does, with Spring the blocking back in front of him. They split off. In there now is James Jones and Dorsett, not Springs. Slot back formation right for Danny White. He breaks that one by moving Pearson out the left side to balance off. The handoff is given to White, to Dorsett. He's got a couple of blockers, but he's nailed at the line of scrimmage. Carlton Williamson came up from the strong safety, reading the play perfectly, coming up from the safety spot, and got Dorsett before he could gain more than a couple of yards.
Good team defense because the strong backer Willie Harper did an excellent job over there too, and Williamson read the tight end blocking, came up and really delivered a blow on Dorsett. He made about 2 yards on it, so it'll be 3rd and 8 now in the situation for the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas has had 11 third down plays today. They've converted 4 times to first downs, and there's a big one coming. 3rd down and 8 to go. 49er defense digs in as Hill comes wide to the right side. Pearson going out left. 3 wide receivers are in there, Pearson, Johnson, and Hill. 5 defensive backs in there. Lynn Thomas, the 5th back for the Niners, as White is throwing. It is caught by Salty for a first down. Gains about 10 yards and keeps the drive in possession of Dallas at their own 39-yard line. The clock is moving with 8 minutes and 20 seconds left to be played in this ball game. A Super Bowl berth at stake for the winner. A 27-21 score led by the Cowboys at this point.
Dallas went to really basically the weak situation of the 49er defense at times. They had the linebacker Keena Turner covering Salty instead of a defensive back.
49ers have to take the ball away from Dallas on this possession. They cannot afford to let them have another score. Here's Pearson right and Hill left. Here goes Danny White back to pass. He's under a rush. He throws a screen out to James Jones. Has it, and Jones is down. Then breaks the tackle, gets up the 40. They seemingly had him at the line of scrimmage, but a second effort yielded him 3 yards before Craig Pookie finally got him. Missing that one, Eric Wright had a shot at him and couldn't hold him.
That'll be about a 4-yard gain, I think. Yeah.
2nd and 6 to go now for Dallas at the Cowboys 42.
Now what's happening here is what the 49ers don't want to happen. Dallas, a time-consuming drive here that perhaps could result in some points. They've got to get this ball turned back over to their offense.
7 minutes and 15 seconds remain in the game now. Dallas sets its offense with a slot back formation right. Salty is a wing back on the left side. Here's the handoff and a delay. Coming wide this time is Dorsett. Trying to turn the corner. Does. And is hit out of bounds at the 46-yard line. He shook off a shoulder effort before Ronnie Lott forced him out. Eric Wright had a partial slowing down of him, but it's pretty tough to slow Dorsett down. You got to stop him. It's at the 47-yard line now. We're to be 3rd down for Dallas and about 2 to go, a yard and a half to go. And here is as big a defensive play as the Niners have had all year to try to take the ball away from Dallas and force them into a punting situation.
And the Niners will go to their short yardage defense now. They bring in Fred Dean and Milt McCall.
3rd and a yard and a half to go as the Cowboys come up the line of scrimmage now. They've gone to a double tight end, Dupree and Salty. In motion comes Salty to wing back on the right side. Once again, White is calling his signals. He has the ball. There's Springs driving forward. I don't believe he got it. We'll see when it's going to be so close.
He's right at it. If he didn't get it, he's right at it.
He was thrown back, and it depends where they put that ball. Let's see. It appears, I think they're going to have to measure for it. We won't even guess at this point.
They're definitely going to have to measure.
They're going to call in the chain markers. It'll be 4th or 1st down for Dallas. And if it were 4th down, they'd have only an inch or 2 to go. Calling in the chain markers here. The clock, meanwhile, has stopped with about 7 minutes. 6:56 to be exact. And they're going to mark it here to see whether that's a 1st down. They place that advance marker right at the ball they're going to mark it for a 1st down just by inches, and Dallas keeps possession at their own 48-yard line.
Now White now is 7 of 8 of his last 8 in the passing department, has completed 4 in a row as the Cowboys going short stuff, short passes, trying to control the ball, run the clock down.
Dupree and Cosby are double tight ends in there now for the Cowboys. They split their running backs to Springs and Dorsett. White is ready, puts Dorsett back in a tailback out of the I formation. White has the ball, gives it to Dorsett. He breaks over the middle, doesn't go far. He stopped after gaining a yard and a half. As Wayne mentioned a moment ago, the Cowboys using that clock. They're down to 6 minutes and 25 seconds. Bear in mind, the 49ers will have to get into the end zone. A field goal will do them no good if and when they get that ball back. Fanger's Chevron dealer can help unleash the lean machine in your car with Chevron Lean Machine gasolines. Change to Chevron for an efficient, responsive gasoline intake system and a lean machine performance. That's Chevron, the Lean Machine gasoline. There goes Hill wide, the left side. Coming out right is Pearson. Second down, about 8 to go for the Dallas Cowboys at midfield. As White calls the signals, his running backs are in the I formation. The pitch back to Dorsett, cutting over right tackle, and gets down to about the 48-yard line of the Niners, gains 2 more yards. As the yardage comes tough against the determined 49er defense, they're going to spot it actually about the 47-yard line, a gain of 2.5 yards on the play before Carvin Williams stopped it. And here's third down for Dallas now. Third down and about 5.5 yards to go. Doug Donnelly has come in with Tony Hill, Pearson, and Johnson. 4 wide receivers are in there for Dallas now. Crowd exhorting this Niner defense to hold. Here is White going into a shotgun. 5 defensive backs into the Niners. As White is ready, waiting for the snap. He's got it. He looks downfield, throws, and it is incomplete. It's incomplete. Donnelly, the intended receiver, and the Cowboys will have to give up the ball.
White off target, had the ball behind Donnelly, had to make an adjustment and reach back. Had he thrown the ball properly, perhaps Donnelly would have come up with it.
Looked like he had a shot. It's fourth down, and Dallas's Danny White goes into a kick formation now. White with 5 punts averaging 40 yards so far today, taking this one to the San Francisco 47-yard line before they yield, and White is ready to punt. Back to receiver, Dwight Hicks and Freddie Solomon, hoping to get a run back here that would give him a better field position. Waiting for the snap is White. It's fourth down and 6. The ball back to him. He's kicking and gets his punt away. A high spiral. The ball is being signaled for a fair catch, and Solomon catches it at the 10, falls down. And the crowd yelling that Anthony Dickerson was guarding a little tightly on Solomon and not giving him room to make that fair catch. Solomon caught it, fell down, Dickerson right on top of him. Timeout on the field with 4:54 to go in the game, and the score, Dallas 27, San Francisco 21.
Well, it may be all on the line right now in this possession for the 49ers. 4 minutes, 54 seconds left in the ball game as they take over first and 10 with the ball on their own 11-yard line after the punt by Danny White. In mind, the 49ers trail by 6, 27-21. So they have to get in the end zone to tie this ball game, kick the extra point to go ahead.
Wayne, the largest crowd in 49er history is watching this ball game. 60,525 fans in attendance. Only 536 failed to show up today. And what a ball game they are missing. All set is Montana. Back to pass. Looks down the near side, throws a pass, and it's caught. I believe he has a first down down around the 22-yard line. It's Freddie Solomon. He has a first down for the Niners at the 23-yard line. Dennis Thurman came up in a hurry and tried to get a hand around in front of that ball, but just at the last second, it was into the grasp of Freddie Solomon.
Clock continues to run. 3 minutes, 51 seconds left. The 49ers with 3 timeouts remaining, and they are 78 yards from 6 points.
And they have to get into the end zone, as we mentioned earlier. They trail by 6. Wilson is in there now for Freddie Solomon. 6 defensive backs remain in, looking for Montana to throw the pass. The ball is given to Elliott on a run. He's got some blockers, goes outside, and is hit up around the 33-yard line. I don't believe he got out of bounds, though, and the clock is still moving. He didn't get out. Randy Cross led the blocking that time to clear the way for Lenville Elliott. He got up to the 33, but didn't get out of bounds.
Been their most productive play the last couple of years. The 18 bob, they call it sweep to the right, where they pulled both guards out in front of the halfback. That time Elliott picked up the first down as the Cowboys were thinking pass.
3 minutes and 5 seconds remain in the game now. And here comes Wilson wide to the left side. Going out right is Dwight Clark. Running backs are in a split behind Montana. Staying on the ground. Elliott's running the ball. He cuts in at the 35, goes up to 40, gets to the 41-yard line, and down he goes. With 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining now to the 41-yard line. The 49ers advance the ball 30 yards in a hurry out from their 11-yard line. Charlie Waters and Anthony Dickerson made the stop on that play. The clock going with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Here comes Wilson out of the ball game. Coming back in is, let's see, Dwight Clark remains in. Freddie Solomon has come back in. Clark coming wide the left side. Solomon going out right. Running backs are Elliott and Cooper in a split behind Montana. Joe has the ball. He's passing this time. Throws the near side through the hands of Elliott and incomplete. That'll bring up third down again and 3 to go. 3rd and 3 for the Niners when they're at their own 41-yard line. 2 minutes and 22 seconds remain in the ball game as the incomplete pass stops the clock. Joe Montana has a little more time to work in now with 9 third down plays today and completed 4 of them to first downs. And here's another test in that very important statistic to keep possession here. Once again, Clark moves out left, Solomon out right. 3rd down, 3 to go. 6 defensive backs countering Montana's passing. He's going to run the ball. It's given off to Elliott, and Elliott piles up to about the 45-yard line where he is stopped after gaining enough for a first down. To the 45-yard line, the clock stopping with 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the ball game as Guy Brown, along with Harvey Martin, stopped that play. Might have been a penalty on that play, and that's why the clock is stopped here. It is a penalty against the Dallas Cowboys, stopping the clock. Here's the call for you.
Offside, defense, number 77. For the first down.
Bruce Thornton got a jump that time for Dallas, and it's first down for the Niners. I believe Linville Elliott had it anyway, but they got a couple of extra yards on the penalty. There goes Clark wide right. Coming out left is Solomon now. They're at the 46-yard line of the Niners with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to go. Montana going back to pass again. He has good production, throws a pass, caught at the 49-yard line of Dallas for a first down, as that was Earl Cooper out of the backfield to make the catch. Ron Fellows and Benny Barnes got him. The clock moving down to the 2-minute warning now. 2 minutes and 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and they'll stop it at the 2-minute mark. We got a timeout on the field here at Candlestick with 2 minutes left, and the score reading, Dallas 27, San Francisco 21.
The true measure of an insurance company is what happens when you've just been clobbered with a loss. That's when you appreciate how fast, fair, and friendly your farmer's agent can be. Whether your loss is the result of a major calamity, such as a tornado or fire, or a minor car accident, you need and deserve prompt attention from your insurance company. This is the overriding philosophy of your farmer's agent and of Farmers Insurance Group, FIG. They pride themselves on the dedication and unselfish efforts of farmers' agents during countless disasters caused either by nature or by man. So, if you aren't presently insured by Farmers, please call your nearest agent right away and get acquainted. David Arguello in San Francisco, Thomas Pickford in Redwood City, James Custer in Palo Alto, and William Smith in Sunnyvale.
Before play is resumed here at Candlestick, let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. This is the San Francisco 49er Radio Network.
Looking for a rush? Look for me, Fred Dean, number 74, on my jersey and on your radio dial, KCBS, San Francisco Sports Radio.
Don Fine with Wayne Walker here at Candlestick Park with the final 2 minutes of this season for one of these two teams, and the 49ers trying to avoid that situation. They have a chance. They are 48 yards away from that goal line. Up the line of scrimmage, Montana on a reverse given to Elliott. Now the reverse to Solomon, running the ball. He's past the 40. Gets away from the tackle. He gets down the 35-yard line. As Solomon on double reverse from Wendell Elliott to Solomon, and San Francisco gains about 13 yards in the play before Ron Fellows got it. Little trickery there, Wayne.
It's been marvelous play selection in this drive.
They're in their 2-minute offense, not huddling. As here's Montana ready again, going back to pass. Looks over to the right, throws a pass, and it is complete to Clark. Clark caught it down the 25-yard line. Steps out of bounds with it. Stops the clock with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. Everson Walls tried to get in front of it to pick it off, and he couldn't. Clark caught it to the 25.
Now Montana got it through there. I'll never know. Benny Barnes, number 31 over there, had a shot at it. Walls got a hand up. Montana fit it through like it was on a wire to Clark at the sideline.
It's at the 25-yard line of Dallas now. First down and 10 to go for the Niners.
7 catches for Clark, 119 yards.
1:31 to go in the game. Here's Clark wide left. Solomon sets up with a slot back now. Montana ready. He moves Lenville Elliott in motion as Joe goes back to pass. Good protection. And now throws to the 13. Caught by Solomon at the 13-yard line. Solomon has a first down at the 13. Emerson Walls couldn't prevent it. And Solomon has a first down at the Dallas 13-yard line.
And they ran a pick again. Solomon picked his man off Charlie Young, the tight end.
49ers are going to call for a timeout to stop the clock. The Niners want to talk things over. Dwight Clark is down on his knee. He appears to be okay, but he is being talked to there by Hal Wise. Dwight Clark. Ball is on the 13-yard line of Dallas for San Francisco. The Niners started this drive back at their 11-yard line. They have now moved it on a sustained drive. So far, the Cowboys unable to cope with it, and the Niners have advanced the ball 76 yards since taking over at their 11-yard line. And Wayne, it's the moment of truth for the Cowboys and the 49ers now.
They're tired. Their defense is tired. Well, they're down there on one knee with their helmets off. A minute 15 left. The Niners still have 2 timeouts. Their offense is getting a breather out there themselves. It's all on the money right here. 1st and 10. With the ball on the 13-yard line. So the Niners can actually get a first down without scoring. Keep in mind, once again, they got to get in the end zone to tie this ball game up. 27-21 is the score.
As we say, here's what it comes down to. These two teams, down at Thousand Oaks, the Cowboys, the 49ers up at Rockland, all their preparation, all of their victories, 12-4 for Dallas, 13-3 for San Francisco. All of it comes down now to a final 1 minute and 15 seconds here on the floor of the stadium at Candlestick Park, where the Niners have advanced the ball to the Dallas 13-yard line. San Francisco trailing by 6 points and trying to get the big 7 they need for the victory that will send them on to the Super Bowl. Up the line of scrimmage they come. Here's Montana ready, slotting his receivers on the left side. There goes Cooper in motion to the right. Montana back to pass. Looking toward the end zone. He throws it. It's incomplete. Intended for Freddie Solomon. As Montana wanted to be a little careful there. Remember, that was a first down play. He didn't want to take any chances for the interception. Solomon was closely guarded on the play by Everson Walls. And Montana, I guess, you'd have to say, Wayne, that I think he threw that one away more than anything else.
Oh, he was extremely careful with it, which he's got to be on first down. No use taking a chance there. That would have been a 4th down pass. He'd have probably been a little bit shorter with it and try to get it to Freddie. But it was first down. He's got 3 more tries at him. That time, Cooper went in motion out of the backfield. The Niners actually didn't have a back remaining. They were in a spread formation that time when the ball was snapped.
Second down now and 10 to go from the 13-yard line. As again, Montana is ready. He has the ball. A running play coming for Lenville Elliott. He goes past the 15, the 10. He gets down to the 7, battles his way to the 6, and he's down the 6-yard line. That was John Ayers throwing a key block for Lenville Elliott. It stops the clock with 58 seconds remaining at the 6-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. Benny Barnes and Charlie Waters were the 2 who stopped Elliott on a determined run from the 13 to the 6, a gain of 7. Bear in mind, the 49ers can, if necessary, get a first down inside the 3. They are now 3rd down and 3 to go at the 6. Timeout has been called for the Niners. They have 1 more remaining.
Now, what they've done on this drive, Don, is what the Philadelphia Eagles did a year ago against the Cowboys. The Cowboys then think and pass and playing their pass prevent defense with the linebacker out, and the Niners have run on it as much as they've thrown on this drive. Elliott has done the bulk of the work on the runs, much like he did last year in that comeback win over New Orleans. It's been marvelous play calling by Bill Walsh and his coaching staff on this drive.
Montana, meanwhile, has come over to talk personally with Bill Walsh to get everything clear. Everything hangs in the balance now. The season, the outcome of a Super Bowl berth hangs in the balance as it is 3rd down and 3 to go. Up the line of scrimmage they come now. Clark goes to the right. They set up a slot back. Solomon in the hole there. Running backs are split behind Montana. 3rd and 3. He has the ball. Montana rolling out the right. Looking toward the end zone. Throwing under pressure. Throws his pass. Caught by Clark. Clark got a touchdown. Dwight Clark has it. It's a touchdown for the 49ers.
He rolled to the right, had big pressure. He had about 3 or 4 guys in his face. Clark went down, got to the back of the end zone, and then ran laterally along the back of the end zone. Montana threw it high where if he didn't get it, it wouldn't be intercepted or go out the back of the end zone. Clark went high in the air and pulled it down for the 6.
What a move, as Wayne said, for Joe Montana and Dwight Clark. A tremendous passing combination. And now here's Ray Wershing trying to kick the point to give them the lead. Montana waiting for the snap. It's kicked. It is good. It's good. And the Niners lead it 28-7. The crowd tell the story now here at Candlestick. Listen to this crowd. The Candlestick Park crowd has gone berserk here as Joe Montana caps off an 89-yard drive with the touchdown pass to Clark. Actually from the 6-yard line. And let me say one thing right now, this ball game is not yet over. This is a battle-tested Cowboy team. Dallas has been through this sort of thing time and time again. The most experienced playoff team in the history of the league. And now the 49ers have them on the ropes, trying to deliver the knockout punch. They lead by a point. 51 seconds remain for Dallas to try to get it back. James Jones is deep, and Ray Wershing will be kicking off. Boy, Wayne, there have been some great ball games played here, but this one will match any of them, and perhaps it is one of the great of all time.
No question. It's been one of the most exciting games I've seen. By far the best game that we've seen in the 3 years that I've been doing the color job here for the 49ers. This has been a tremendous football game with great intensity. The emotions and the tide has swung back and forth 5, 6 times. Right now the Niners have the upper hand. They lead by 1. Right, 51 seconds left. The Cowboys with 2 timeouts.
Here's the kick by Wershing. He's kicking it low. It's bounding, taking a leaping catch. Newsom coming up the near side, and he's forced out of bounds at the 25-yard line. As a matter of fact, Wayne, when the Niners went ahead a moment ago, that was the 6th change, number 6, change of leadership in the scoring of this ball game. Back and forth, the tide of battle has swung between these two teams. The Niners now have Dallas in a real pressure situation with the Cowboys. They have it 1st and 10 at the Cowboys' 25-yard line. 47 seconds remain in the game. The test is on the 49er defense now to hold everything the offense has gained them a moment ago on that 89-yard drive. Pearson, Johnson, and Hill, the wide receivers, are set. Dallas, remember, they could go with a field goal if they have to. Once again ready now is Danny White. He has the ball. He's going back to pass. He throws it. It is caught. Completed down the 45-yard line. Drew Pearson got it. There are 38 seconds remaining, and Dallas will stop the clock. Remember the important point I mentioned a moment ago. The Cowboys trail by only a point, and Raphael Septien has been effective 8 out of 9 times from 39 yards out. When he has to kick up to 49 yards, he has kicked 7 out of 12 this year.
Well, the 61,000 fans who were up as one, screaming just a second ago, have been quieted down by that pass by Danny White. He really thread the needle in there. It looked for a while like it would not get through. Could have been intercepted. But a beautiful throw by White. Puts the ball now at the 44-yard line of the 49ers. 1 timeout remaining for the Cowboys.
Cowboys you have to feel they'd get down around the 35-yard, well, about the 30-yard line, and that would put Septien within range of a last field goal attempt. They are 14 yards from that point of the field right now.
38 seconds left, as we mentioned. Now, White has the option. If he completes the pass, he can call a timeout, or they can go into a hurry-up offense, line up over the ball. He can take the snap, throw the ball out of bounds, and stop the clock that way. So the Niners still have their work cut out for them.
Cowboys ready from the 44-yard line of San Francisco. Tony Hill goes wide left. Drew Pearson is out right. Danny White set. Dorsett is on the bench. Jones the running back. San Francisco with a 4-man front. Here's White backpedaling. The rush on. He's being sacked. He's sacked. He sacks a fumble. There's a fumble. There's a fumble. We'll see who got it. White has been sacked. We're waiting to see whether San Francisco, I believe, San Francisco's recovered. The 49ers have the ball. Lawrence Pillar's on the sack. Danny White coughed it up. I don't know who fell on it. Jim Stuckey has recovered the ball. Lawrence Pillar's popped the fumble, and that's going to do it for the 49ers. The 49ers, with that play, take over, and they will win the National Football Conference Championship, and it is on to the Super Bowl. As we saw it here a moment ago, the pressure put on White. Pillars, I believe, was the man who made the hit. Lawrence Pillars hit him, and Jim Stuckey recovered for the Niners. They have the ball. They can run out the clock, and they have for all but beaten the Dallas Cowboys for a Super Bowl berth. Here they come to line of scrimmage now. As Montana is ready, he'll merely fall on the ball, touches his knee down, and they are marching off the clock. Dallas will stop it here. Dallas will call for a timeout, but it is a mere formality of the clock now. Listen to this crowd at Candlestick Park. One more snap of the ball and the ball game's over. The Cowboys cannot stop the clock. They're out of timeout. 27 seconds remain. They'll snap the ball, fall on it, and it's all over. It's on the Pontiac for the 49ers. Well, when great moments of San Francisco sports history are written, this one will top them all. In recent years, certainly for the San Francisco 49ers, their greatest team in history. They'll be going on to the Super Bowl, and the way they did it, the manner in which they did it, and coming from behind to beat the Dallas Cowboys with an 89-yard scoring drive in the closing 51 seconds. And here's Montana touching his knee down. It is all over now. The clock in motion with 20 seconds left, and the countdown here in San Francisco. The crowd surges out of the field. The 49ers are on their way to the Super Bowl. Boy, the crowd is surging onto the field here at Candlestick Park. It is just a tremendous celebration here on the field below. We'll break it here for 60 seconds. The end of today's game here at Candlestick Park. We'll be back in a moment. The final score, it was San Francisco 28 and Dallas 27.
If you look closely at the home team's helmets, you'll see all the face masks are pretty much alike. The big difference is in the man behind the face mask. And so it is with bank cards. The big difference between them is the bank behind them. That might be the reason more Californians choose to get their bank cards from Bank of America. When your bank card has Bank of America behind it, it comes with several built-in advantages. To begin with, it makes you a part of Bank of America's money convenience system. So you can tie your Bank Americard Visa or MasterCharge accounts in with your Versatile card. That gives you the extra convenience of being able to get cash advances or make payments anytime from 6 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week at Bank of America's growing statewide system of automated teller machines. And since your bank card is issued by California's largest bank, it's backed by more than 1,000 branches around the state. So don't choose a bank card just for the card. Consider the bank behind the card. And you'll choose a bank card from Bank of America.
Well, that's it. We are just about speechless while trying to catch our breath here in the heated moments of one of the great moments in San Francisco sports history. On to the Super Bowl in Pontiac for the 49ers. That's where it all started, remember, this season. Who would have dreamed after the 49ers lost the opener back on September 6th to the Lions at Pontiac that there'd be a return trip for Bill Walsh and his players this year? Even the most optimistic 49er backers could not have foreseen what we have seen here today. What was ahead this year? the development of a band of rookies blended with some key veterans in a force molded together by the expert leadership of Bill Walsh and his staff that went on to post first the #1 record of the season at 13-3. The Doubters still wondering whether they might crack under the pressure of postseason play. But the New York Giants last week and now the Dallas Cowboys have found the answer to that question the hard way. Beaten, and they are through for the season, the Cowboys are, while the 49ers have gained entry to the first Super Bowl berth in their history. And I have to say, win or lose in Pontiac, win or lose in Pontiac in 2 weeks against Cincinnati, the 49ers certainly, well, they struck gold in 1981, and they have certainly staked a claim to a promising future. Thanks to the efforts from the top, the ownership of Ed DeBartolo Jr., from the on-field leadership of Bill Walsh and his great coaching staff, and in the final analysis, the players who have put San Francisco on the national sports scene map with this city's greatest NFL team ever, and certainly one of the greatest football, I say here at Candlestick Park for the 49ers, I'd have to stretch that to one of the great football games played in National Football League playoff history. A lead that changed hands 6 times. Back and forth, the tide of battle between these two great teams swayed. You had the feeling that maybe the team with the ball in the last drive would win it, and that's exactly what happened. As the Niners went into the Dallas end zone with 51 seconds remain. And great as this Dallas team is, they had won 18 out of 30 playoff games. They still had a shot at it. They were moving down within field goal range of Raphael Septian when Danny White was hit and fumbled, and Jim Stuckey recovered for the Niners to seal off the victory that moves them to Pontiac. Well, let's take a break now, the end of the day's game, and we'll take a 60-second break and be with you in just a moment right after this message.
Blow away everything you ever heard about pickups. Introducing the revolutionary U-size Chevy S10 pickup.
Chevy S10.
There's never been a truck like it before. It's longer than the import, smaller than full-size pickup.
Chevy S10.
The totally new Chevy S10 offers optional V6 power. Power to tow twice as much as any import pickup when properly equipped.
Chevy S10.
A 1,500-pound payload option and V6 engine that S10 haul heavier payloads than many standard-equipped full-size pickups.
Chevy S10.
S10 features a big, roomy cab and has 2 walls of steel in the sides of the cargo box the imports don't have, and a brilliant paint finish that looks a foot deep.
Chevy S10.
Test drive the totally new quality-built Chevy S10 today. There's never been a truck like it before.
Never.
Chevy S10 at your Chevy dealers now. Chevy is the power in trucks.
Before signing off the game broadcast, before talking about the highlights of today's action for you, my thanks to our crew here today, our spotters Al Talboy and Bill Stahl, and our statistician Lee Hammer along with Raleigh Klein, and to our engineers Andy Ellis, Ken Horton, and Dave Anstead. 49er broadcasts are produced by Bob Texer, and I'd certainly like to thank all of these fellows for their help throughout the season. Wayne and I are very grateful for the behind-the-scenes people whose efforts play a big role in bringing this coverage to you. And certainly our thanks to you fans for your comments on the coverage. It's been a great season, of course, for all concerned. And we hope you've enjoyed the radio coverage as we certainly have in describing the action for you. Climaxed by this never-to-be-forgotten playoff victory for the Niners here at the expense of the Dallas Cowboys today. That's it on the game broadcast. Stay tuned now for the highlights of today's action on 49er Warm-Up and Locker Room Review with Wayne Walker. Once again, the final score, it was the 49ers 28 and the Dallas Cowboys 27. Change to Chevron, the lean machine gasoline. And by Farmers Insurance Group, FIG. Farmers is constantly working to keep the cost of insurance down and the amount of protection up. See your fast fare friendly Farmers agent soon. By United Airlines. Discover Hawaii with the airline that knows her best, United. Call United or your travel agent today and fly the friendly skies to their little corner of the world. By the brewers of Michelob Light and your local Michelob Light distributor. Compare the taste of Michelob Light to any beer you like. By Bank of America's most money-convenient system, including a growing network of versatile or automated machines, open 6 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. By Chevrolet and your local Chevrolet dealer, who invite you to see all the new Chevys today. And by your Chevron dealer. Unleash your lean machine and help bring out the performance your car was meant to give. changed to Chevron, the lean machine gasoline. And finally, again, by Farmers Insurance Group, FIG. See your fast, fair, friendly Farmers agent soon. This is the San Francisco 49er Radio Network.
No matter what your plans are, you always want to know the weather. Listen for me, Bob Holman, and I'll tell you what weather to expect, whatever your plans. 74 KCBS, San Francisco.
49er Wrap-Up, sponsored by Kilpatrick's Bread. If you're looking for B vitamins, minerals, and protein without a lot of calories, take a look in your bread box for Kilpatrick's. It isn't called the Staff of Life for nothing.
This is Don Klein at Candlestick Park again with 49er Wrap-Up, a review of the score and highlights of today's action, plus a look at the game statistics. But first, this message. And now, in case you were not with us throughout the afternoon of an exciting day here at Candlestick Park, let's recap for you the highlights of today's action, starting right off with San Francisco's first possession of the afternoon. They got the ball starting at their own 37-yard line. They moved it down eventually to the Dallas 8-yard line, where Joe Montana lined up the 49ers on a first down and goal to go at the Dallas 8. Here come the 49ers up the line of scrimmage now. Bill Ring and Earl Cooper are the running backs, lined in a wide split behind Joe Montana. Clark is out right. Solomon is out left, moving back to slot for the right. Here comes Montana rolling out, throws a pass. It's caught, and into the end zone goes Freddie Solomon for a touchdown for the 49ers. That gave San Francisco a 7-0 lead with only 4 minutes and 20 seconds gone in that first quarter of play. Dallas got their second possession, starting from their own 29-yard line. They eventually moved the ball down to the San Francisco 27-yard line on a fourth down situation for a fourth down and 3 to go, and had no option but to call on Rafael Septien for a field goal. Waiting now and holding the ball is Charlie Waters. Waiting for the snap, kicking a 35-yard attempt on its way. It has enough distance, and it is good. And Dallas is on the scoreboard with the first 3 points for the Cowboys. That was with 4 minutes and 44 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play, as Dallas eventually regained possession on a fumble by Bill Ring, recovered by Guy Brown. And San Francisco was in trouble defensively with Dallas in possession at the San Francisco 29-yard line. They went down to a 2nd and 7 situation on the first play, going to the Niners' 26-yard line. Trailing Dallas was at this point 7-3. As Danny White calls his signals, he has Jones and Springs behind him, going back to pass is White. He throws a long one into the corner to Hill, and it is caught, and a touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys. A 26-yard scoring pass to Tony Hill, and Dallas went ahead 10-7. That was the first of 6 changes of leadership in this ball game today. 2 minutes and 49 seconds remained in the first quarter when that score was made, and it was 10-7 in favor of Dallas. The 49ers came charging right back. They eventually got the ball at the Dallas 47-yard line, first down and 10 to go, with about 8 minutes left to go in the first half. They moved from the Dallas 47 down to the Dallas 20, where the Niners had a second down and 6 situation, trailing, bear in mind, by 3 points. In motion goes Cooper. There goes Montana back to pass under a rush. He escapes it. He throws it to the end zone. Up and man is Clark. He's got it. A 49er touchdown. Clark scoring on a 20-yard scoring pass that time from Joe Montana to make it 14-10 in favor of San Francisco. That was with 6 minutes and 12 seconds left. Dallas got the ball at its own 20-yard line, and they started a comeback drive of their own, moving from the 20 eventually down to the San Francisco 47, and then as a very highly disputed pass interference call was called against Ronnie Lott, Dallas got the ball at the San Francisco 12-yard line on that play. They eventually moved it down to a 3rd and 3 at the San Francisco 5-yard line with about 2.5 minutes left to go in the first half, and Dallas trailing at that point 14-10. Wide receiver split. The handoff is pitched this time to Dorsett. He's running into the end zone for a Dallas touchdown. So Dallas scored and thereby went ahead, changing the leadership for the 3rd time in the ball game. Went ahead 17-14, and that's the way the first half came to an end. So we'll take a natural 60-second break here, and having covered the first half highlights, we'll be back with you in just 60 seconds to find out what happened in the second half. To Cosby in the end zone Eric Wright broke up the play, and that forced the Dallas Cowboys to go for the field goal, and Raphael Septian came onto the field. Kicks it on its way, and that one is an easy three-pointer for the Dallas Cowboys. And Septian kicked the 22-yard. I wonder why we don't yell as much when Septian kicks it as before with those 49er touchdowns. Well, at that point, you got to hand it to Dallas. They were not out of this ball game. That score gave them just a 1-point deficit. San Francisco 21 and Dallas 20. Dallas, at that point, got possession eventually. I had mentioned earlier on the Dallas 30-yard line, they had moved down to the 5 and then kicked the field goal. Then they got the ball at midfield, as I mentioned earlier. They moved it down to the San Francisco 39-yard line, and eventually on 2nd and 4, remember they were trailing by the 1 point. At that point, 21-20, they moved to the San Francisco 4-yard line where they had a second down to the San Francisco 21-yard line where they had a second down and 4 to go. And here's what happened on a key play for the Cowboys. White looks around to set his backs in an eye. Now breaks them apart, splits them. Dorsett left and springs right. Moves Pearson in motion. The ball faked off to Dorsett. White going back to pass. Throws it down the middle, and it is caught and into the end zone for a touchdown is Cosby.
The trick play we were talking about.
Cosby on the tight end alignment came out at the San Francisco 1-yard line, caught it, went into the end zone, and for the 5th time in the ball game, the lead had changed hands, and this time it was the Dallas Cowboys getting the upper hand at 27-21. At that point of the ball game, there were 10 minutes and 41 seconds left to be played. Just to recap from that point on, San Francisco got possession, but Montana's pass for Solomon deep on the next possession was intercepted by Walls. Dallas took over at its own 27-yard line. They eventually moved as far as the San Francisco 47-yard line. And on a key play, when you look back, here is a play that swung the tide for San Francisco. It was 4th down and 5 to go. White was forced 3rd down and 5 to go, and White's pass for Donnelly was incomplete as Wright, helping out on the coverage, broke up the play, and that forced Dallas to punt from the San Francisco 47-yard line. It gave San Francisco possession at the 49ers' 11-yard line. They were 89 yards removed from the Dallas goal line. They had 4 minutes and 54 seconds left on the clock. And steadily, they moved upfield from their own 11-yard line. They crossed midfield about 8 plays later. They moved down to the Dallas 35, to the 25, then to the 13, then held up there at the 13 for a 2nd and 10 situation. They gained 7 yards as Elliott swept the left end for 7. And then on 3rd down and 3 to go, San Francisco trailing 27-21. And here football history is made here at Candlestick Park. The season, the outcome of a Super Bowl berth hangs in the balance as it is 3rd down and 3 to go. Up the line of scrimmage they come now. Clark goes to the right. They set up a slot back. Solomon in the hole there. Running backs are split behind Montana. 3rd and 3. He has the ball. Montana rolling out the right. Looking toward the end zone. Throwing under pressure. Throws his pass. Caught by Clark. Clark got a touchdown. Clark has it. It's a touchdown for the 49ers. There it was as the 49ers scored the game-winning touchdown. Oh, I tell you, you're going to see that. You're going to see it on a highlight. Watch Clark as he catches that ball going high off the ground to pull down the pass by Montana, who was throwing with about 4 or 5 Dallas white shirts bearing down on him under all kinds of pressure, and he found Clark right up against the end zone line. Oh, I guess Dwight had him maybe a yard to maneuver in. He went high in the air and pulled it down for the victory for San Francisco. It was not, of course, assured at that point. Dallas had 51 seconds left. And this Dallas Cowboy team, as I mentioned, they are battle-tested under pressure of playoff competition. They came roaring back on the ensuing kickoff. They eventually moved down to the 44-yard line of San Francisco, where on a 1st and 10 situation, and again, bear in mind, they needed only to get in within field goal range. San Francisco was hanging on to a slim 1-point edge, and Raphael Septian was just the guy for Dallas who could take it away from them. They had a 1st and 10 at the San Francisco 44-yard line, and just as the offense had turned things around moments earlier, it was now the defense's turn to become the hero's role for the Niners. Danny White set. Dorsett is on the bench. Jones the running back. San Francisco with a 4-man front. Here's White backpedaling. The rush on. He's being sacked. He's sacked. He's sacked. A fumble. There's a fumble. There's a fumble. We'll see who got it. White has been sacked. We're waiting to see whether San Francisco, I believe, San Francisco's recovered. The 49ers have the ball. That was it. It was was Pillars who forced the fumble, and it was Stuckey recovering and thereby nailing down the victory for the 49ers by that final score of 28-27. Hey, that was an exciting ball game, no question about that, and there's much more to come. Of course, the Super Bowl yet to come for the Niners in their first entry into football's classic final confrontation of the year for the Professional Football Championship. And they'll be up against the Cincinnati Bengals, who beat the San Diego Chargers 27-7 earlier in the day. So it is San Francisco against Cincinnati, two newcomers to Super Bowl competition. Well, that's it. In just a minute, we'll be switching to Wayne Walker for Locker Room Review. That's it. The final score again, 28-27, San Francisco the winner. And that's it on 49er Wrap-Up.
49er Wrap-Up has been sponsored by Kilpatrick's Bread. If you're looking for B vitamins, minerals, and protein without a lot of calories, take a look in your bread box for Kilpatrick's. It isn't called the Staff of Life for nothing.
This is Wayne Walker in the victorious 49er locker room where there are all kinds of jubilation going on, all kinds of smiling faces. With Archie Reese here right now, and Arch, you guys have maintained your composure and your equilibrium all the way through the season, and in the playoff game against the Giants didn't get too happy, but boy, the roof is just coming off this place right now. You guys are just totally thrilled about this one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Wayne, the guys really excited about it because they know last week it was just one step. We had this game coming up with Dallas that we beat the last time we played them, and we knew they were going to come in fired up to beat us. And they said a lot of things this last week that, gave us the edge. I think made us kind of a little more fired up about it. But the guys just really played their hearts out today on defense and offense. We made some mistakes both ways, but hey, the guys came over a lot of adversity today, man, and they really went after it because they wanted it. And they knew it the whole time that they were going to win. And you could never see anybody let up the whole game, and no matter what happened, everybody on the sideline was just steady saying, we're going to win it, we're going to win it, and we did.
Archie, at the end, when the Cowboys had the ball, and you guys knew you had to get them stopped, any special things going on out on the field? Did you just play with what brought you there?
Well, we just went with the regular thing. We put the nickel defense in the last 58 seconds. We put the nickel defense in, and I don't think they wanted to see the nickel defense on the field. I think their game plan was against us to run on first and second down, get the big yardage so we could keep the nickel defense off the field. But it came down to that, and Lawrence came up with a big sack that knocked the ball loose and stuck it, recovered it. So we didn't do anything different except just went after them, and because we knew they wasn't the type of physical team. They were position blockers, and that kind of sets in front of you and not just really come off the ball. So all we had to do and tried to do was just attack them and be man-to-man with them and be physical than they were, and we did it.
Well, hang in here with me for a second while we take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Super Bowl.
All right.
Wayne Walker with Archie Reese in the locker room. Arch, Super Bowl, it's going to be Cincinnati. How do you feel about the Bengals again?
Oh, well, we got to respect Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got a great...
Don't get so serious now.
I'm telling you, it's going to be serious. It's going to be serious. We're going to start working on it, I guess, coming Monday. We're going to have to start working on it, watching some more game film, and working up on the things that we did against them the last time. And I can't help but respect him. That Kenny Anderson, he's a super quarterback. He's very smart, and he can move. To say he's been around a while, he can really move. And that big Pete Johnson, I just can't say enough. He's a big fella. He runs the ball very well, and their defense is super.
So you guys feel like you haven't done your jobs yet. You still got one more.
We got one more big one. We're going for the gusto. We're going for the goal when we go to Detroit. So we're going to really have to be sharp and be on cue when we go to Detroit, because Cincinnati is really going to be on time. We'll be ready to go.
Arch, thanks for being with us, and you'll get your Palm Beach Blazer from Rochester Big and Tall. Thanks for being our guest. Okay, we'll be back with the offensive player Earl Cooper here in just 1 minute. We're with Earl Cooper, who is an integral part of the 49er win today. Offensively, Earl, congratulations, number one. It's got to make you just guys feel wonderful.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. It's a great feeling, and we just proud and glad of the whole team that we're going to the Super Bowl. It was a hard-fought game, as you can see, and we got one good drive there at the end. It didn't end the game, but it won the game for us. Defense came on after that, sealed it off, and got a fumble from Danny White on the sack. It was just great.
Let's talk about that last drive. Normally, that time of the game, a lot of teams will be throwing the ball almost exclusively. You guys ran at them a lot in that situation. Ran the sweeps, ran the reverse with Freddie. What was the thinking behind that?
Oh, the thing behind that is that I think that the coaching staff felt like Dallas thought we was going to come out swinging the ball. So just to counteract that, we just ran sweeps and just threw them off.
Well, my personal congratulations to you on a season, and especially the way you came back in the last 4 or 5 games after taking a lot of heat from some people early on in the year. Certainly, it's been a season where you can look back and say that you really redeemed your value to this ball club.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's a great feeling, you know. Like early in the year, it wasn't too good for me. Now I'm in there, and I'm excited about it. I think all my teammates are excited about it, and all San Francisco is excited about it. So am I.
Okay, well, we'll see you in 2 weeks in Pontiac. You got the Cincinnati Bengals. You're looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. We're looking forward to that challenge in the Super Bowl, and hopefully it'll be just as good as the game today, and we come out on top again.
All right, Earl, thanks for being our guest. We'll get to your Palm Beach Blazer, Rochester Big-and-Tall on the way.
All right, thank you.
Okay. And that's it. 49er locker room review. Now a reminder to stay tuned for NFL scoreboards. We switch back to Don Klein for a look at how the other playoff game went today. Locker room review has been sponsored by Rochester Big and Tall, the corner of Mission and 3rd in San Francisco, in San Jose, San Mateo, Concord, Sacramento, and Fresno.
Now NFL scoreboard, a review of today's NFL action, sponsored by Mark Morris Tires, where you can choose from Pirelli, Michelin, Goodrich, TA, Dunlop, and Uniroyal tires. Mark Morris with 24 locations throughout Northern California. Wayne mentioned that we would cover some of the details of that Cincinnati-San Diego game. That'll be coming up later on NFL Review today. Al Helmsel standing by with that. We will continue to concentrate on this tremendous San Francisco victory over Dallas here this afternoon, 28-27. We now have the official game statistics for you, and there was no question as to which was the superior team here today. If you had any doubt of a 28-27 scoreboard, which was very close, it was not so close on the yardstick. The Niners outgaining Dallas 393 yards to 250. Breaking that down for you, in net yards rushing, San Francisco gained 127 on the ground against 115 for the Cowboys. And through the air, it was no contest, as Joe Montana passed for 266 yards against Danny White's 135. Looking at the individual statistics for you, in the rushing category, it was Dorsett gaining 91 yards, held to less than his customary 100. Nevertheless, a great football player and contained pretty well throughout the day. His longest run went 11 yards. He averaged 4 yards a carry. Facing the 49ers was Linville Elliott, reactivated just 2 weeks ago and delivering today on a 4.8 average, almost 5 yards per carry, more on the average than Dorsett. Elliott gained 48 yards in 10 carries. Danny White completed 16 out of 24 passes today. He was sacked on 4 occasions by the 49er pass rush, 16 for 24 and 173 yards.